And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, Chris Van Hollen, the Democratic senator from Maryland, loves MS13 gang members. What kind of moron must you be to go and try to retrieve, quote unquote, a gang member from a prison in El Salvador when he's not even a U.S. citizen, when he is a citizen of El Salvador? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have an allegation of New York Attorney General Leticia James engaging in mortgage fraud. And there's been a lot of response from her. Oh, she's doing a whole lot of talking, violating all types of acts. I hope that she goes to the penitentiary and makes big rocks to little upon her conviction. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, speaking about public officials, you have the governor of Maine. What's her name? Patty Mills, Janet Mills. I don't know what her name is, but you know what I'm talking about. The governor of Maine, who loves the Transformers. She's responded to the lawsuit from our Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi's like, hey, you got boys competing against girls in high school sports. You can't do that. The governor of Maine is like, hey, I do whatever I want to do. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got quite a few videos, quite a few things that I've not spoken about thus far on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Happy, what's the day? Today's Holy Saturday. So tomorrow's Easter. So happy Holy Saturday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your weekend. I got a 3-day weekend, right? Because I think people are off on Good Friday. I think the schools are out Good Friday, at least out here. And you got today and then tomorrow. So you got a good, 3 to 4 day weekend. Are you guys traveling? Are you guys just hanging out? You going to church? What's going on? You got your Easter suit, the pink and the green and all that kind of good stuff. I love a good Easter outfit. That's one thing that I miss when I was a little kid going to church is the Easter clothes. That was like a thing people did. I'm not sure if I ever had like an Easter suit. My thing I always had was the Easter basket. Oh man, them Easter baskets though. I tell them, hey man, ain't nothing you like more than them Easter baskets. You get all types of prizes and surprises in there, all kind of extra exotic candy. You never know what's in the Easter basket. So yeah, shout out to the Easter basket. Oh, and the Easter egg hunts as well. I read that they're going to use real eggs at the White House Easter egg hunt. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find that clip and play it in my montage today. But yeah, people are going to be mad about the real eggs thing because of the price of eggs. That's been a really big topic of discussion as of late, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. But shout out to you guys again for being here. I really, really appreciate you. C333 says, God bless, happy Easter. Jesus Christ is risen. And he is, absolutely. Corky Goss says, all about no candy for Lent, then the big basket. Oh yeah. The peanut butter eggs, yes. Give me them Reese's peanut butter eggs. Hey, my granddad on my mom's side loved them Reese's cups. Keep a big bag of Reese's right next to the TV. You go over there, go to grandma's house and scoop them right on up. And the Easter, like in any kind of holiday Reese's cup, it's just better than the regular Reese's cup. It's just better. I don't know what they put in it. They might put a little bit of, you know what I mean, little something in there to make it a little bit more appealing. But the holiday shaped Easter eggs, the holiday shaped Reese's are always amazing. So yeah, what's it? Eggs are too high to be playing hide and go seek. Hey man, we good though. I think we'll be just fine. I think we shall be just fine. Why not? Hey, and guess what? If you get to find the eggs, you get to keep them, right? Why not? It's all good. And you know, the funniest part about the whole egg thing, the reason why there was a shortage is because there was a big culling right before Trump came in office talking about, oh, they got the bird flu. Listen, I will never believe the government again when it comes to my health. I mean, truthfully, I didn't believe them right when they said the whole thing about COVID-19. I didn't believe that from the beginning. So I'm certainly not going to believe, oh, it's a brand new hyper super flu and you got to get this shot in your hind parts. And hey, the shot might give you myocarditis. You might pass out right there and die. But look, it's only going to be a handful of y'all that have that problem. So don't worry about it. Take the shot. Just trust the experts. I'm done trusting the experts. I'm going to need about 4, 5, 16 trillion people to cross-reference and verify. And I want some human trials and I want stuff to take time. I don't want a brand new vaccine that they produce tomorrow. I'm good. I'll take my chances. Hold on. Balt Tire says they culled over 100 million chickens. That's right. 100 million chickens right before Trump came in office. Then they say, all right, Trump, fix the egg prices, fix the egg shortage. It's like, yo, you done killed 100 million chickens. What am I to do? Can we just let the chickens grow again? Can we let biology take course? Can we just replenish the supply? You just wipe the whole supply out and then say, okay, fix the supply immediately. I'm sorry, I cannot just make water into wine. I cannot just make chickens hatch 100 million eggs overnight. That's not really how it works. So yeah. Oh, and the peeps, listen, Corky Goss says no peep shaming. Listen, my favorite big back snack are the peeps. Them little sugar, what are they ducks? Whatever they are, that's my favorite big back snack. Hold on. Can I put it up right quick? Yeah, these are, I love them. I don't care what nobody say. Like, these are my favorite. Hold on. Can we just get like a good picture of these peeps? Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, these right here. Hold on. These, the best. Simply the best. Better than all the rest. Shout out Tina Turner. These right here, man, I will crash out over a box of these. Oh my goodness. These are great. If you say they're not, you're just a hater. I'm playing. But seriously, I love the peeps. Also, what I like are the candy corns. Love candy corn. You got, hey, if you invite me to your grandma's house and she has candy corns and that little silver dish, not that silver, pardon me, and that crystal dish. You know what I'm talking about. You go to your grandma's house and in the den, in the living room, it's a silver dish and it has candy in it. I don't care if it's been there since 1978. I'm going to get one of them candy corns. I sure will. So yeah, shout out to the candy corn. Shout out to the peeps. All the Outcast candies, them little watermelon looking candies your grandma got in her purse. Listen, give me a grandma purse full of candy rather than going to trick or treating. Give me the grandma purse and I'm good money. I got everything I need in there. I know it's going to be some gum. It's going to be a little bit of loose change so I can go, spend some money. It's going to be some of them little candy corns in there and most certainly the little watermelon shaped or packaged candies. Give me it all day long. So yeah, aside from big back snacks, hopefully you guys enjoy your Easter weekend. Have a good church service if you're going to church. And enjoy yourself. Don't get caught up in no nonsense. Just have a good time. And the weather is beautiful out where I am. Hopefully it's not snowing or too crazy rain wherever you are. All right. Werther's Originals. Yes, those are good. Butterscotch. Lori says, my grandma had chocolate I used to steal when I was a kid. Yeah. And your grandma know that you would take the candy. It was there for you. Okay, you go to your grandma's house, you got sodas under the bed. That's what my grandma had. It wouldn't be no soda nowhere else except for like under the bed. And she know I'm gonna go up under there and take the soda. Absolutely. She know that. Walmartavius says it's weed day tomorrow. Look, see, that's a Walmartavius thing to say. Weed day, look, that's the Lord's day. He has risen. Okay, he has risen. We ain't doing no weed smoking. All right. We're not doing no weed smoking on the Lord's day. All right. We're focused on doing good things. We're going Easter egg hunting. We're not going blunt hunting. We're not going weed nugget hunting. We're going Easter egg hunting. Okie dokie. That's what we're going to do. But tomorrow is 420. It just happens to be like that. It just happens to be like that. So I'm not a puff pass kind of individual. I'm just chilling. Hey, y'all know me, coconut water. That's what I'm on. I'm high on life. I'm not high on the weeds. I'm not high on the devil's lettuce. And definitely not on the Lord's Day. We're not doing that on the Lord's Day. All right. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Someone said it's Trans Day of Visibility tomorrow. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully the Transformers are not trying to interfere with Easter, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if they did, but hopefully they are not going to do that. All right. Assassins of the Gray says, this is how potheads ruin everything. Hey, man. As long as I'm not smelling no weed smoke outside of church or something crazy like that, then hey, man, do what you want to do inside your house. You know, I'm not really, I'm an anti-drug person, but some things are not that serious to me. I think we should keep the fentanyl and the, you know, you got a lot of death from the opioid crisis. We got to kind of regulate that and not let these drugs be so prevalent in society. Because when the drugs are prevalent, when things are not really taboo, when it's okay to just pop pills and stuff like that, you're going to have a nation full of unmotivated, sick people who are not really able to push the country forward. You're going to get regression overall as a result. The opioid crisis they had in China during the Opium War, that almost collapsed their entire society, and they are a 5,000-year-old nation. That almost collapsed them. So it's a pretty serious thing. You got to keep drugs in check because people are weak and they will use them and they will destroy themselves. And by way of them being the nation, if they destroy themselves, then the nation falls. So you can't have that. You cannot have that at all. But yeah, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining. All right. Athens, Ohio has a weed trade show tomorrow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nobody in the community said, hey, you know what? Well, I guess it's America, right? You got you got freedom in America. You could do that. Now you go over to Europe back in the day and you want to do something like that, man, they might burn you at the stake. Heresy, witchcraft, all of that. But we've advanced in society. So those things aren't really possible too much anymore. Not in, you know, civilized and advanced society. Not anymore. Jaleisha says, nah, I got a bone to pick with the Mary Jane. I can't stand the experience people close to me are on it. They can have it. They can have that back. I think it's fine in moderation, but most don't do it that way. Well, yeah. Retro AI says, you think fent is payback for the opium wars? To a certain extent. Yes, to a certain extent. I think some people over in China who are sending the precursors to the cartels, which wind up becoming fentanyl on the streets, I think some of them think, you know what? Well, they did it to us. We're going to do it to them. The West hurt our nation with the opium crisis. We're going to hurt them with the opium crisis. We're going to make money as they make money. So, yes, I think that's part of it. And the other part of it, people don't really care. They're just trying to get money. They don't really care too much about nothing else. That's just my humble opinion. All right. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. We got a whole lot going on. We have a whole lot going on. But again, hopefully you guys are enjoying your Easter weekend. Before we get to anything else, shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Also, shout out to the sponsors. Hold on. Hopefully I wasn't too loud in your ear. But shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or just visit their website, patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. We got the hats. We got the t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the merch website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I'll have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I'll have sources from the left, from the right, from the center. And I'll always cite my sources If I make a video on these interwebs and I say, hey, this happened, this is a fact, this is a thing that I know to be true, I'm going to give you a source on it. If it's my opinion, I'll say, hey, this is just how I feel. This is my thoughts. This is where I'm at mentally. But I'm going to always give you sources for every video that I produce, whether that be left, right, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want, I got it. As long as it's legal, it'll be right there on the front page of my website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All those links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. And shout out to the Facebook audience. Hey, it's jumping. It is jumping. I think that I've been able to tap into a different audience. I'm not really sure, but I'm looking at my stats, and my core group is between, I say, 45 and 65. That's my core group. And my biggest audience is 55 to 65, that group right there. So yeah, shout out to Facebook. I think that we can see how different social media apps have different ages of people. I think TikTok is going to be the younger generation. Facebook, older generation. Instagram, kind of like my age, kind of like 30s, 40s in there, mostly. Maybe I'm wrong. But then YouTube, you get kind of a wide audience. You get pretty much everybody watches YouTube. Maybe the younger generation watches TikTok a little bit more, but TikTok is really, they're kind of whooping everybody right now. That's where everybody wants to have the short videos, reels. That's what everybody's on right now because TikTok made that be a thing. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. All my links, everything, go to the website. You can find out whatever you need to find out right there. All right. So 54 this year. Okay, Casey and Mike 54. Diamond G 36. Janet 62. Selecta M 354. Okay. See, there we go. Shout out to y'all. And that to me is a compliment because you guys look to somebody that's younger to listen to. So it's like you respect the wisdom. So I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Janine Jones 62. All righty. TNSN5 says FB is so weird, bad energy. I mean, I think, you know what? It can be weird. Any social media platform can be weird if you kind of just find the weird corner of it, in my humble opinion. Just like X, formerly Twitter, you can find weird little parts of it. But if you're not keyed into it, if you're not really looking at that, you'll totally just bypass it. There's a lot of things that happen on social media where it's really big within that really niche audience, the really niche group, but nobody else knows anything about it. Some of the goings on I won't mention, people had no clue. People calling me like, hey man, what's going on? I saw something on Twitter. What's happening? People calling me, asking me what's going on. So a lot of it is kind of like niche little groups you can just stumble upon and you see something crazy, but it's not necessarily indicative of the entire platform, in my humble opinion. So yeah, Ian Jones says 212 been collecting SSI. There you go. That's about accurate, right? Yeah. So you got a 275-year-old mama receiving Social Security benefits. Hey, I'm going to protest Elon Musk and Tesla because he cut off my 295-year-old mama from SSI benefits. That's what I'm going to do right now. How is she that old and not in the Book of World Records? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. But she really is 375 years old. All righty. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. Steve Carfuffle says, I'm 76. I've been watching you since these were all apple tree fields all over there. Shout out to you. All right. But yeah, get a video a thumbs up. Kai's Craft Room says, just turned 46 today. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. All right. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for being here. And hopefully you guys are enjoying your Easter weekend so far. Yeah, we got a lot of different. You got young like kids in school, like grade school, not kindergarten. Well, probably some kids in kindergarten watching with their parents. A lot of you guys call me. I think I had a caller recently that was like, 13 years old? So you get a wide range on YouTube of ages. You get very young, like children, and then people that are much older than me and everything in between. So I think it's a good thing. And I think the main thing that unifies people on a platform like this is their common interests, regardless of what their age is, location, race, or whatever. It's a good place to create a community. But shout out to you guys. Alrighty, so check it out. We have a real Easter egg hunt at the White House being planned. Oh, I loved Melania and Trump during holidays at the White House. Remember when Melania and Trump had put the candy on top of the Halloween, the trick-or-treater's head, and it just fell off on the ground? That was a great moment. So shout out to them for their holiday traditions. Let's watch this.
Easter, the White House is choosing to use real eggs instead of fake ones. This decision, despite the national shortage of real eggs.
They were saying that for Easter, please don't use eggs. Could you use plastic eggs? I said, we don't want to do that.
This year's egg roll will feature 30,000 real eggs for guests to decorate and then use in the games. 30,000 eggs, or 2,500 dozen, is the normal amount used in previous years. The Egg Board has provided the eggs for this event for years. They often rely on donations from farmers across the country.
So let's pause. So they always use real eggs. It's not like, oh, Trump wants to use real eggs because he just hates people and he wants to make everybody go crazy in Costco. Nah, they always use real eggs.
But this year, we're told that the board had several internal conversations about the optics of using tens of thousands of real eggs, given how the bird flu has burdened egg farmers and contributed to high prices. Still, they've decided to supply the event with eggs, and some farmers have some thoughts. One farmer told us that rolling eggs across a lawn is a waste given the shortage. But another, who isn't able to donate any eggs this year because of the bird flu, says that the White House is in the right and that they shouldn't use fake eggs. This year will mark the first time the Easter egg roll only includes small and medium-sized eggs, which are not sold at markets, according to the Egg Board. Prices have declined in recent weeks.
So if they're only going to use small and medium-sized eggs, what's the problem? If they don't sell these eggs at market, then it's not like they're not taking the eggs from your Piggly Wiggly and using them for the Easter egg hunt.
But they're still higher than typical. For all the debates here in Washington, this one is much less likely to be over easy, and instead, much more scrambled.
Alrighty, there we go. That was a great little pun at the end right there. So shout out to the real Easter egg hunt at the White House. I love it. I love it. It's a great thing. All right, now look. I like Florida. Florida's a good place. But have you guys seen this video? Now look. If you squeamish about alligators, animals, or whatnot, don't even watch this part. But it's the only part about Florida and Australia. I'm not trying to see a dinosaur-sized spider on my bed in the morning when I wake up, nor do I want to see two gators at my house ringing the doorbell like, hey man, where the food at? Where's the food? Where's the drinks? Where's margaritas? I'm trying to meet with Chris Van Hollen to get a margarita. What's going on? Let's watch. Listen, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this at my door. You have not one, but two gators, and they appear to be motivated to get inside my house. They ringing the doorbell. They all on the actual door frame. Nah. And the one gator is just kind of sitting there like, yo, ring the doorbell. See what you can do. The one gator is like, look out. The other gator is actively trying to climb into the home. I'm good. What are you going to do if you see that outside your house? What's your next step, huh? When you see a gator up on its hind legs, like, yo, open the door. No way. I'm good. I am good. So yeah, shout out to the Floridians out there. Is that how it is? You just got gators just at your door in the morning, like, yo, can I get some sugar? Can I get X, Y, and Z? No, you can't. Go back over there. Okay. Alligator shoes coming soon. Hey, that might be the next move. Now, people are really afraid about this whole El Salvador thing. They think that Trump is going to deport all liberals to El Salvador. That's not really a bad idea. I'm going to just go ahead and say that's not really a bad idea to deport them to El Salvador, but I don't see that happening, okay? I don't see that happening, but let's watch and see what this person thinks about that possibly being the thing. Check it out. All right, hold on. Some sound might help. There we go. Let's start from the top.
Hey, I don't know about any of you guys, but I'm crashing out right now because right now it's feeling a lot like when we were sitting in high school history class learning about World War II and sitting there going, oh my God, how did this happen? How could nobody do anything about it? And we're living it right now because people are fucking dying in El Salvador, even though they won't say that they're dying in El Salvador. And we are just watching it on our little fucking screens, and we're going to work and we're buying $9 eggs. And we are just watching it, and I'm sitting here like, oh my God, well, what do we do? What the fuck are we supposed to do?
I'm sorry for the cussing, but people are dying in El Salvador. Is that happening? When have you seen anything about anybody dying? I saw that illegal alien, what's his name? Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He has not missed any meals at all since his arrival to El Salvador. He's not missed one meal. He's still fat and happy as he was in the USA. But let's continue.
To be doing because I feel so powerless. I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot at my job and I just have to go to work and I am gonna just serve people food and be like, yes, how would you like your steak cooked? Oh, would you like to die in El Salvador? Because they're gonna deport us all. What are we doing? What are we doing? Our Constitution means nothing because apparently the only thing keeping it together was people with honor and decency, and now we don't have those people. What?
All right, there we go. So she's afraid that Team Trump will deport her to El Salvador. Are you here legally? Are you a citizen? Are you committing crime as an illegal alien? If you're just a regular normie, a regular citizen, don't worry, you'll be okay. You can go to your job, serve the chicken tendies and the steak and all that kind of good stuff, and you'll be just fine. Ain't nobody coming to get you singing to El Salvador. Although it wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to her. All right, just relax. Everything's going to be okay. The TV, turn it off. Your TikTok, all that kind of good stuff, turn it off because you're getting kind of freaked out for no reason. All right? You're getting freaked out for no reason. You will be just fine. All right. Now, here's a good one about someone. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me see if I'm saying the right thing here. Okay. This young lady here was raised by liberal parents, but she has changed. And I believe that she's in Florida right now. Let's check it out.
I was raised by very liberal and still to this day liberal parents.
Wow.
Yes.
Me too.
And yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts, actually,
Oh,
originally.
really?
Yes, Taxachusetts, as they would call it.
Wow.
My whole
Tom Brady fan or no?
Of course.
Okay.
Tom Brady actually followed me down here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really?
he did. He followed me
Well,
down.
I followed him down here, so we're all following each other.
I was 16 when Trump was elected the first time. I wasn't able to vote. But I had asked people around me. I started kind of paying attention to politics at that point. Everyone in my life in Massachusetts, as you can imagine, said Trump will never win.
Yeah.
So when he won, I said, everyone around me doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I need to educate myself here.
Wow.
So really, I went on this journey on my own and really went to educate myself and find.
What are some ways, sorry to cut you out, but like what are some ways for other people to educate themselves? Because I think we could both agree that both sides just spew their own little bias.
That's a very good question. Let's see what she says.
So how can we do what you did is do your own research? Like what are some methods that got you to where you are today?
Honestly, the best advice I can give to people is like find someone that you can relate to. Find somebody that is saying the things that resonate with you and feel like, yes, that is how I feel. And if I accepted that true belief, then I could go about my day happy. And
Yeah, that was a good piece of advice, because you know what? When I first came to YouTube as a, I guess you would say, content creator, whatever you want to call it, when I first started putting videos on YouTube, the reason why I did it is because I was trying to find somebody like me that I could relate to, because nobody around me was conservative. I couldn't talk to anybody about how I was feeling. So I'm like, okay, can I find somebody to relate to? And since I couldn't find anybody, I'm like, you know what? I know it's not just me who is searching for this person, so I'll just be the person. And here I am. And I don't want it to be a thing where you just find somebody you can relate to and they tell you anything you want to hear and it's not factual. You still got to do your own research. You still got to find the truth for yourself without relying upon influencers or anybody like that to educate you. It needs to be a combination. Find people you can relate to, that you could talk to, who express how you feel, but also do your own independent work to find the truth. That's what I would say. So shout out to her. Okay. Liberal parents, Massachusetts, and she moved away and found the truth. Shout out to her. Now, speaking about moving away, going to do things, becoming an adult, young adults, are you guys going to Coachella? Do you guys know anyone going to Coachella? Now, if you guys don't know, it's like a big concert, right? Coachella. What's that, in California, Nevada, somewhere on the left coast, Coachella. Now, it's very expensive to go there. I was reading that there's a lot of people people are financing tickets to go to Coachella. Financing, like how you would finance a car, making payments. Okay, once you get to Coachella, that'll be 2 bands, 3 bands. Okay, I got to make payments on it. It's crazy. It's expensive. Now, some of the prices of food there are also going to be expensive, you see, because it's one thing to just get a ticket. You still got to have somewhere to stay. You got to be able to eat. You want to buy other things. It's going to be ridiculously expensive. Let's watch. So look, we got a burger. Hold on. Let's go back. We got a burger at $19 for a hamburger, cheeseburger, $21. So you're getting charged extra $2 for a slice of cheese. $2 for a slice of cheese. Double burger, $25. Double cheeseburger, $27. A combo, $50. With the combo, you get fries and a sparkling lime, I guess a little drink. Caviar, $100. Sparkling lime, $16. Water, $2. Water ain't that bad. The water's not that bad. Okay, charcuterie board, $48. Pomme frite, $13. Campfire chip, $9. Yeah, but a hamburger, $20? No. No way. Is that New York City prices? Is that how it is in New York City? It's too expensive. Look, out here in Tennessee, that's highway robbery. I refuse. Like, that's just not really going to be a thing that goes on. Are those prices what you would pay in your neck of the woods, or is it very high? I know some of y'all living in New York City, you're living in Los Angeles. Oh, man, I can imagine how Los Angeles is. You guys are paying an arm and a leg for next to nothing. Yeah. Water and chips. Hold on. Sparkling lime is water with a lime slice. That's out of this world. So just for that lime slice, you're getting charged $14 because the regular water is $2. Sparkling lime is $16. So $14 for a lime slice and a little bit of bubblies. I'm good. So yeah, if you guys are, is it cheap, Trumpernator? That's cheap. That's crazy. If that's cheap to y'all, then you must live in Tokyo. I don't know where you living at. If that's cheap. That's why I love living down south. I love living in East Tennessee. I'm not going to pay all that. I refuse. J Balu says, I'm in South Florida, not crazy prices. Well, yeah, that makes sense. You live in Miami or somewhere, West Palm, one of these places. Yeah, it's going to get crazy. That's why I'll go down there to visit, hang out with y'all, kick it, have a little vacay, little staycay, and go right back to Tennessee. Right back to Appalachia, where things are, you can get a proper meal for $20. Everything. Like, I go to Miller's Ale House, somewhere like that. I'm going to get my sandwich, my chips, my drink, all of that for like $18. And then I'm good money. That's right, Casey. You live out here in Tennessee too? That's ridiculous. Exactly. Now, Nashville, on the other hand, like Nashville, like inside Nashville, might be a tad bit different, but still probably not quite that bad. Now, speaking about expensive, this is a relatable video because this is kind of like how my house is. So look, you got a 4-bed, 4-bath, 2,700 square foot home that sold for $553, and they estimated worth $583. $583,000 is the Zillow estimate for the value of this property. 4-bed, 4-bath, 2,700 square feet. Now, this is very similar to my house, but I don't have 3 baths. So let's watch. Let's get some sound and start from the jump.
This is the most unaffordable housing market that America has ever seen. Let's use this home as an example, which is the American dream for a lot of people like me and my fiance. We do pretty well for ourselves, we earn in the 6 figures, and we've always wanted this. But then this happened. $553,000 for this house. You may be thinking to yourself, well, that's not so bad. Let me show you. This home that was sold for $553,000, that was listed for $489,000, sold for $337,000 back in 2018.
And that's about what it was for me. I didn't pay that much, the $337,000. I was closer to $4 in 2020, and now it's worth about the $553,000. Probably somewhere right in that ballpark. So, hey, my mortgage rate 2.75. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere.
This home in 2025 with a $553,000 sale price, 6% down and a 6.5% rate, gives you a payment of $3,716. Back in 2018 with a $337,000 sale price, 6% down and a 4.5% rate, gives you a payment of $1,800. Which means to afford that home today, you need a household income of $230,000. When in 2018, you needed a household income of $100,000. Meaning that back in 2018, a couple with 2 entry-level jobs could have afforded this house. That's the issue that many people like me and my fiance are having. How is it that we have to earn more than twice as much money to do the same things that people used to be able to do just 5-6 years ago? One of the worst parts is we can't get any honesty around the situation. So if you want honest news around what's going on in the housing market, make sure you check out my newsletter and my link in bio.
So check it out. Now, the thing about it is, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. Now, I knew that it didn't make sense back in 2020 when I bought my house to get a house that was just like at my affordability rate. I knew to get lower because some are going to think, okay, if it's 2018 and we both make $100,000, $120,000, we could get a house that's worth that much. But that would have been a bad idea because you're at the very top of your affordability. If one of y'all has a little job lapse or somebody get fired or something like that, you're going to be in a bad situation. What you want to do is get something that's a lot lower than what you can actually afford on paper. Okay, so this house right here in 2025, 2030, that's out of this world. I think that it's going to be another crash. It'll be a crash, and we got to get lower prices because this is not really affordable. However, these homes are still being built and they're still being purchased. So you got somebody in there. You do have somebody in there. But what's also happening is there's a lot of homes being built for rent only because people understand that this whole thing, the way that houses are and the interest rates is out of reach for a lot of Americans. It's too much. The down payment's too high. The monthly payment is too much, so they're building homes just for rent because that's all you can really do. You can't pony up all this money for a down payment, and you can't afford the very high mortgage. So we'll build you a starter home, a 3-2, something like that, or a 2-2 maybe, and you pay like $2,500 in rent, rather than having to pay the $3,700 for a mortgage plus your down payment money. It's crazy. It's totally nuts. But yeah, it's got to be a crash or something's got to change. And if not a crash, what'll happen is it'll be a lot more of those built to rent homes that are not going to be for anybody to actually purchase and own, except for the investors and the builders, not for everyday people. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Hold on. Nomi Train says, I've seen whole neighborhoods built with just rentals. Absolutely. That's the way that's what's happening right now, because people cannot afford these very expensive homes. They cannot afford the mortgage. They cannot afford a down payment. It just can't do it. They cannot do it. Well, I can imagine how it is New York City, LA. Forget about it. I don't even think New York City and LA are affordable at all. They've not been affordable for a long time. You want to get real estate in New York City, you're going to be in the shoebox. A literal shoebox is where you're going to be. You're not going to have a good experience living in New York or LA. Matter of fact, hold on. I think I saw something. This guy had renovated an apartment. Well, he said it was real estate. I think he purchased a home in New York. And when I saw it, it looked like somebody might have got deleted in there. It looked like it was haunted. If you go in there, it'd be a guy whispering at you, tickling your ear in your sleep. And when you get up in the bed, ain't gonna be nobody there. It's gonna be haunted. But he renovated it, made it look very nice. But you couldn't pay me all the tea in China. You can't pay me any kind of money to actually live there. Let me see if I can find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Jaleisha says, I always feel safe with ABL when he talks. Always good advice and knowledge. I can't get enough. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Hey, thank you for that. Means a whole lot to me. I'm glad you guys really, you trust me. You appreciate me. That's why I always tell y'all, I ain't never going to steer you wrong. I ain't never going to tell you no lies. Whether you like it or love it, hate it, whatever, I'm going to always lead with the truth. Always. And never nothing else. All right. But let me see if I can find that. I'll probably find it later. Let's keep rocking here. So Byron Donalds went to one of these Tesla rally protests, I believe in Florida or somewhere. Yeah, probably in Florida, because he's a House rep in Florida. Let's see how gracious and loving these protesters are, shall we?
I didn't think to tell me it was your district.
Listen, when you're running for governor, everywhere is your district. I'm trying to figure out what it is you guys are actually doing.
Nazi.
You do realize that Nazis don't like black people, right? What do you want us to agree on?
Congress, because I was just in D.C. on Monday for transgender visibility, and I would like you, as a member of Congress, to rise up and support LGBTQ plus youth and stop this insane attack on our children who know who they are, because you're a fascist. You're a trace.
So, because I do not believe in the mutilation of children, I'm a fascist now? Can I ask you a question? I asked you a question, and then you said you don't agree with me?
My children
I asked you a question. You call me a fascist, you call me a race traitor, and you want me to agree with you? What are you talking about?
A race traitor? But you know what? This right here is what you're going to get a lot. The very people who say, oh, the right, they're racist, they hate black people, all this, that, and the third, they'll be the main ones who hurl racial insults at you instantly. If she was behind a computer screen, it'd be a bunch of N-words coming out from an anonymous account. But since he's right here, it's a little bit more tame. You see how that works? Let's watch.
Stop, ma'am.
Are you against electric vehicles? I am against the Republican Party of Florida for having control of the governor's mansion for 25 years.
What policy in Florida the last 25 years that you don't agree with?
All right, what I believe you should do right now is study the law.
But sir, I spent 4 years in the legislature.
And that was
I wrote some of the laws.
Right, I know you wrote some of the laws.
So I'm asking you, which one?
All right. They're too many to name right now.
Okay, yeah, right. It's too many to name. Hey, man, you got to study the law, all this, that, and the third. Okay, what's your problem? Give me a law that you don't like. Well, man, it's too many. I can't name right now. Whenever someone says that, they don't know anything. That's all. They're just out there just because.
Last question. Seriously, last question.
Give me last question.
New York or Florida? Which state is governed better, New York or Florida?
It's clearly New York. Why don't you live in New York?
Ah.
Why don't you live in New York?
All I'm gonna say is
because I live in Florida.
People choose Florida. They've been coming here more than going the other way. When you vote with your feet, it matters.
I'm gonna come to your district and register a lot of poor people. I'm gonna register them. I'm gonna get the felons that have had their voting rights taken away that don't even know they can vote still now. I worked on felons' voting rights in Florida 7 years ago.
Ready?
What that means is I'm gonna get a lot of black people to vote against you. That's what that means. A guy like this, you see his whole get up right here. I don't know, you looking like a 1987 movie, like a buddy cop movie, the quirky gas station clerk and the buddy cop movie. That's you right now.
Ready?
I'm going to come to your district. I'm going to register so many people. I have nothing but time.
Do you remember the amendment about restoration of voting rights? You ready? I endorsed it. I supported it. I'm still trying to figure out who are the Nazis now.
I think you guys, like, I don't understand.
I'm a Nazi? What are you talking about?
Show the Nazi salute that Elon gave.
As always, guys look just like this. Listen, whenever you are on the interwebs and you're going back and forth with somebody, you arguing with somebody, understand it look just like that. Okay? Bro, rather than being out here worrying about protesting, you should protest the dinner table. Protest cholesterol, diabetes, high blood sugar, high blood pressure. Protest that.
What do you mean? Which one?
Do it. No, you do it.
I'm trying to figure out who are the Nazis and where are they?
Oh, the Republicans are the Nazi party.
Why do you say that?
Because they support a Nazi.
Who's a Nazi?
Elon Musk is a Nazi.
Hey, why are the Republicans bad? Because they're bad and they support bad people. Oh, okay.
On what?
Based on the Nazi salute, the not saying he didn't do it? Why did he not the Nazi?
It's cool when they do it. Problem when we do it. If I wave to the crowd, oh, ABL threw a Nazi salute.
So why should 325,000 people go bankrupt every year because of doctor's bills?
The current law for healthcare is a Democrat law.
Oh, yeah?
The Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare.
Okay.
Deductibles are higher.
Okay.
Premiums are higher.
What's your solution?
People are not actually getting the care that they need because Democrats don't want to do anything. They want to keep it the way it is.
Affordable Care Act, yes, for now. Until you find something
Until
better.
what?
And you know what? Here's something else though, big man. Now, you have personal responsibility. If you go to the hospital because diabetes, clogged up arteries, and you're looking at yourself right now, you're about a good 385. Okay, a good solid 385 right now. Okay, if I ask you to jog from point A to point B, if I ask you to climb a flight of stairs, it's going to be a struggle. So you have responsibility to take care of yourself rather than relying upon the government to take care of you. So you won't be in a position to try and pay for some medical things that you could have prevented.
To find something
What's better?
You tell me. What are we doing about it?
Brother, if you have solutions, I want to work with you on that. We can actually help fix mental health issues. We can work on that. We can work on that.
That's actually beautiful.
This is a beautiful thing.
You shouldn't start by calling people Nazis. Look at this.
She called me a Nazi and it went downhill.
Your next governor.
Listen.
That's actually great. Can you give a handshake?
I've never seen a black Nazi in my life. That's crazy. But okay. You want to do it? You want to shake hands?
That's incredible.
Listen, you know what?
Can I get one quick thing? Can you apologize to him for calling him Nazi up to his face?
I don't think you're a Nazi right now.
I promise you I'm not a Nazi at all. No.
There we go. So, hey, Byron Donalds, I like Byron Donalds a lot. He will probably be the next governor of Florida. Now, I got a question for y'all. Here's a question, a little straw poll, but I won't make a poll in the thing. I'll just ask y'all. If it's between DeSantis' wife and Byron Donalds, who should be the next governor of Florida? You'll let me know in the comments. I won't do a poll, but I'll just ask you guys to let me know. DeSantis' wife or Byron Donalds as the next governor of Florida. Y'all let me know. And I think it would be a good role for him to be the governor of Florida rather than trying to become the president right now. It's still a little early for Byron to try to become the president. I think the governor of Florida would be a good role for him, in my humble opinion. Okay? I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it right there. Byron. Now, I know I might be a little bit biased. I just gave the case for Byron Donalds. I understand, but still. All right, not a woman. Shout out to you, Mutiny on the Bounty. Mutiny said, not a woman. As long as we don't do that, we good money. Okay, that's our honest answer, No Me Train. You're not really sure about the wife of DeSantis to really make a determination. I get it, 100%. Now, you know who should not be the governor of Florida or Texas or anywhere else? It's this woman right here. Okay, let's not have her be the governor of anywhere, because if she becomes a governor or has any kind of power more than she has right now, it'd be a real bad day for her constituents. Okay, and if you don't know, this is Jasmine Crockett, the House rep from Texas. Let's watch some of this, shall we?
I want y'all to know that every day that I walk in those halls, regardless of whatever rhetoric they put out about me, I am a very serious lawmaker. At the same time, if you try me, you will find out. I just want to be clear about that, because I am truly a black woman at the same time. So I want you.
Okay, so I have some questions. You're a very serious lawmaker. What laws have you made? What have you done since being in office, aside from squabbling with Marjorie Taylor Greene and buying a bunch of different wigs? What have you done while in office? Can you give me anything? First. Second, when you say, oh, if you try me, you're going to find out that I'm a black woman. What does that mean that you, what does it mean to you to be a black woman? How is that a thing you're going to use against somebody? How does that really work? You're going to be sassy? You're going to be like stereotypical? You're going to be ghetto? Is that what it is? Now, a lot of black folks don't like stuff like that now, Jasmine Crockett. So I don't understand what we're trying to do here. We're trying to brag on negative characteristics. We're trying to brag on negative stereotypes about black women. I don't want to put out negative stereotypes and say that you're going to be loud, abrasive, all that kind of stuff just because you're black. So you're embracing stereotypes, but you be the same one talking about racism this, racism that, as you embrace racist stereotypes. Make it make sense. If you're going to embrace these stereotypes, then you shouldn't even be crying about any kind of racism or anything like that. Why cry about that? Why be concerned about that at all? It's weird. And of course, as you saw in the background, that is Al Sharpton. You know what? Can I say something right quick? I got a hot take, and I'm not trying to threaten anybody. Listen, to the YouTube people, to the manual flaggers, to the haters, I'm not threatening anyone. But I do want Al Sharpton and all these race hustlers of his ilk, Jesse Jackson, I want them to go away. However kind of way they got to go away, I want for their reign to be over. And I don't want him to pass the torch to her and her velvet. What is this right here? A velveteen pantsuit? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on now. Nowadays, 2025, I don't know what's happening. Velvet pantsuits at the podium is crazy. Yeah, that will not be your governor. And I shudder to think if she was to try and become the president one day. Oh my goodness. If she ran for president, I don't know, man. Look, I'd be like, yo, Elon, hold on. I'd be like, Elon, yo, can I please get a one-way ticket up there with you to Mars, please? Because I can't do nothing with a president. What's her name? Jasmine. I almost called her AOC. Same thing. A black AOC. A velvet pantsuit wearing AOC. But anyway, now speaking to black women, we got Jennifer Lewis, an actress. She's been vocal about politics and whatnot for a while. I've not watched this, but I guess it's about Elon. I saw like a piece of it, and she's talking about Elon. So let's see what she says. Let's see how much of the mainstream media has poisoned her mind.
You will have no victory erasing our history, because we will rise up from dawn to dusk. You'll have no victory erasing our history. Ain't nobody scared of you, Elon Musk. You'll have no victory erasing our history. We stand at 10 billion strong. Oh, you'll have no victory. Erasing history. The whole world knows right from wrong. Have you forgotten? Our ancestors died so we could be free. Oh, say, can you not see from sea to shining sea? It's not me, it's we. And 10 billion of us agree. You will not erase democracy. You will not erase democracy. You will not erase democracy. Now let me tell you what the world will remember.
Oh my God.
What you did last November. We gonna be all right, y'all.
Oh, alrighty there. That was, again, Jennifer Lewis. Oh my gosh. Yo. She's an actress, singer, a pianist. Oh, my eye's burning. My eye is burning. Shout out to her. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me get some of this good old H2O. Yeah, it's enough. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry about that. I had to show it. Man, oh man. Hey, the afro was moving. That tore me to pieces right there. The afro movement was crazy. But yeah, shout out to the piano skills. Yeah, she can sing and do stuff like that, but I need you to do a little bit better than that, Jennifer Lewis. Oh yeah, that's what they did. It's the first I was afraid. Now I'm petrified. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that was.
So
all right, now we got, who is this? Hey, that whole thing was crazy. I wasn't even ready for that. I was not ready for that. Now, speaking about hair, we have Captain Hair Plugs himself, Jamie Raskin. Let's see what he got going on.
So I like that idea, and it's a compliment to something that we need to be doing right now, which is engaging in far more work of transnational democratic solidarity with the democratic governments and the democratic movements and peoples and parties of the world.
Totally agree.
To try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us. But implicit in it should be the idea that if and when we come back to power, and we will, we are not going to look kindly upon people who facilitated, to use a word of the day, who facilitated authoritarianism in our country. Because that's an assault on our Constitution and on our people.
Yeah.
So I like that idea.
Bro, you did all of that to get some hair plugs, monetizing and capitalizing off of your cancer diagnosis to get hair plugs, and you look like that? Bro, like, why, man? These people are so weird. But yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to all these people. These guys, these fossils in politics gotta go. They gotta get up out of here. They really do. All right. Now, there was a Tesla dealership attacked in Kansas City. All right. Hold on. And here is a video of it. Here's a video of it. We don't have sound on this video, but you can see what's going on. And I guess the person that did it was, I don't know if they filmed it. It might have just been someone filming it, or it could have been the guy that did it. But yeah, that's what's going on. Now, here is the guy that did it. All right. Now, why do they always look just like that? Why is that always the case? You could pretty much set your clock. It'd be atomically set. It'd be perfect down to the millisecond that you could pretty much guess, okay, we got a Tesla bombing, a Tesla attack, a Tesla protester. My question is, what causes a young man especially, to look like that? What is going on? Can anybody fill me in? I like to know. and not only look like that, but act out, act crazy, do crazy things. Yes, it is a man, 100% a man. His name, I think his name is Oliver. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Hold on. Tesla dealer, shit, Kansas. All right. Matter of fact, we got a news story. Matter of fact, let's just watch some of this right quick. It's like a minute. Let's just see some of this, and we could kind of get down to the bottom of it.
Following breaking news right now as federal authorities arrest a suspect in the arson at a South Kansas City Tesla dealership. The suspect, a 19-year-old man who lives in Parkville but attends college in Boston. We're also learning just how authorities tracked him down over the past month. Fox 4's Jacob Sloan continues our coverage live near the Tesla Center in South Kansas City.
Yes, that's him right there. A man, 19 years old. So what causes this? There's clearly a problem up here that is manifesting outward. Obviously, something's going on. It's very simple, and it's always like that. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's causing it. Maybe y'all know what's going on, but I don't. Hold on. Ian Jones says, drinks his soy from a plastic gallon jug. Hilarious. Again, Boston. Yep. Very feminine eyelids. You know, basically a transformer. Another one. Just like we've seen this over and over and over and over and over and over again. What did he do? He bombed the Tesla dealership in Kansas City. He set it on fire. So that's what they do. They crash out. They do really, really weird things. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. So MS13 DNC. Here they go fear mongering. You have Simone Sanders, Michael Steele, and I don't know what it is right there in the middle. But they're fear mongering about deportations and things of this nature. Let's listen to this, shall we?
Been talking about this all week, but Janae Nelson of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, she penned an op-ed in The Nation this week, and her op-ed talked about that we think that democracies are the way they die is dramatically through these wars and blood is shed, and it's cinematic in a sense. But really, the realistic way in which democracies die is that it's dismantled brick by brick, piece by piece. And she says that what we are seeing now with the lawlessness from this administration are really the canaries in the coal mine gasping for air. I'm paraphrasing here. But to me, that is why Kilmar Abrego Garcia's specific case, the case of the gentleman who's a makeup artist out of California who was also sent to that prison, that is why the 75% of the folks who have been sent, the men who have been sent there that don't have criminal records, that is why this is so important. Because if they could do it to them, if they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. And to be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
I think that's right. And that's certainly part of why the African-American community is so strongly behind the supporting Kilmar.
Yeah, we're like, we are not for this.
Yeah, because as you just said, if they're going to whisk them away, what are they going to do with us?
Oh my God. No, wait.
Color.
Listen, Simone Sanders, when you say the black community, when you say we, I don't know. I don't speak no French. I don't parle-vous no français. I speak it in English. I don't parle-vous no français. Ain't no we. We don't care about those people because guess what? They're breaking the law and they're being punished for breaking the law. If we break the law, Miss Sanders, we get locked up. Penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. I know guys that have been locked up for way less than coming here illegally and being part of a gang. Listen, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, here illegally, part of a notorious international MS13 gang. You're here suspected of human trafficking. You're beating your wife up. You done pretty much done everything to get locked up. Why would I be for you being free? When if I did any of those things I mentioned, I'd be up under the penitentiary. You got guys doing football numbers in the penitentiary for having that much crack in their book bag at 16 years old. You think we care about those people who are committing crime? Lock them up. And look, ain't nobody getting sent to El Salvador. That's an American citizen. Like, we black folks, people of color, whatever you want to say, we not getting sent. And something else I got to say. I got to say one more thing. This whole idea of being a person of color and automatically poor is so outdated, and it's not the reality in which we live. I don't live in a white neighborhood. I live in a very diverse neighborhood. My neighborhood is more diverse than a lot of neighborhoods around this country. I got neighbors that's black, white, Indian, Hispanic. We got Asians. We got the UN out here, because guess what? You know what we got in common? We're hardworking Americans, regardless of color. That whole color thing is so played out. It's so 1960s. This is the year 2025. It's 2025. All these things about, oh, you're a poor person of color, you can't make it. We don't believe that anymore. Y'all believe it, and you make your audience believe it, but we don't believe it anymore. So yeah, shout out to her. I hate that. I hate this whole poor person of color. That's old school. That's super old school. That ain't what it is anymore. Either you're going to be industrious, skilled, hardworking, or you're not. It don't matter what color you are. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. And that's the truth. So yeah, shout out to Simone Sanders. I'm not a fan. Okay. And look, this would be the only time I suggest a wig. A little, let's try some. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm doing too much. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, exactly, Olivia. Oh, you're a black person. You can't get an ID. Can't get an ID? I've had an ID since I've been a little boy, really, because it goes all the way back to school. You got to have your little lunch card. Listen, when I was probably, I don't know how old, when you start getting a lunch card, if you guys remember, if you're my age, maybe if you're a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger, you would get a lunch ticket. And what would happen is you go to the lunch line and they punch your ticket. If you got free lunch or reduced lunch, I get reduced lunch. So when I'm like, I don't know, elementary school, it was $0.25 for lunch. So I show my green lunch ticket. The lady would punch it on the day with a hole puncher, and I give her my $0.25. Now, I never would lose my lunch ticket. If I lost it, I'm in trouble. If I can somehow carry a lunch ticket, a school ID card, my books, my homework, papers, pencils, why can't I get an identification as an adult? If I could do all of that as a child, a black child in a 100% black neighborhood in the hood, as a child, if I could do all of that, why can't I get an ID as an adult? The whole thing about black folks not being able to get ID is an old, and racist point of view. It's very old. That was that was right here on my chest. I had to get it off. Now let's look at this here. This is going to be from the Brilliant Idiots, Andrew Schultz, Charlemagne, talking about how the Democrats lie to you and make you feel good.
Already, you know, Amazon paid no money in tax last year.
Yes, I knew that.
And you're okay with that?
No.
Okay.
We've been saying tax the wealthy.
So if you
that's why no, by the way,
you're about to make my point.
No, by the way, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. But that's why nobody wanted people to vote for Donald Trump, because they knew Donald Trump was going to not give. He was going to make more tax breaks for the wealthy.
Let's pause for a second. Now we got tariffs. The tariffs have reduced all rich people's monies. Because you see the stock market, it pummeled. So it fell. So when the stock market falls like that, a lot of rich people lose their wealth. The things that Trump did, he knew would crash the market to a certain extent. That means a lot of rich folks lost their wealth. It's a time right now where if you're not super rich, you're able to get into the market and become rich or become a little bit more wealthy, have a little bit more cash than you had before because you're able to get into the market at a lower level. You see what I'm saying? So if Trump got elected and was to help the so-called rich people, then why did he do that?
That was the whole point.
You know that this was set up during the Biden administration, right?
I'm with you. But
if you think that the Democrats aren't also letting corporations get away with not paying taxes, I'm not even talking about the wealthy. This is the problem.
Sure, but who's the party that was screaming tax the wealthy?
I don't care who screams and who doesn't. If both of them are letting it get away with it.
I'm with you, but who's the party that was screaming tax the wealthy?
Okay, so Democrats, you like that they lie to you more.
No, but why? But you can't complain about what you voted for.
I'm just saying, tuck you into bed with your lies. If you want to get tucked into bed with the lies, that's fine.
Sure, but you still can't complain for what you voted for.
I can complain about whatever I want. I'm American.
That is true, but
that's what
Republicans do not care about taxing the wealthy.
Neither do Democrats. None of them do. And it's not about just taxing the wealthy. Because
so why are we voting?
So what, we supposed to not vote at all?
Maybe.
But you know what? People like Charlemagne will talk about this whole, they're the same, two wings of the same bird. They always say that line. Whenever anybody says that, I just like, all right, man, like you're not really understanding what's going on. Clearly, there's a lot of different things that Democrats offer versus Republicans. It's, they're not the same. They're not the same. There's some things that may be bipartisan, but obviously there's some things that they differ on. Like, I don't know, boys playing against girls in sports, boys being allowed in girls' locker rooms. That's not really a conservative Republican point of view. That's a Democratic point of view. All right. So there's certain things like that that are different, and of course, like I said, Trump came in and crashed the market, which hurt rich people. So if he's for the rich, why would he do that? If you're for the rich, you would not do things that would damage their wealth. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Here's Dave Ramsey talking about here he is talking about the fraud, waste, and abuse that we can all see with our eyes.
100% of the intelligent human beings walking around realize that the waste is really freaking ridiculous. Yeah. For the first time in modern history, everybody's talked about it. No one's ever done anything. Not in the GOP and not in the Dems. None of them have ever done anything. It takes this wild animal to go in there with a dadgum machete and a bunch of Gen Zs with algorithms and start stacking those cash flows and looking at this going, well, look at there. We've got a transgender college that we just put $150 million in India or whatever. I made that up. But I mean, this stuff is coming out. It's insane. It's like science fiction. It's so bizarre. It's not even a debate about how whacked it is. It's just whacked. 100.
Right on point, Dave Ramsey. And I don't see how anybody could argue against what he's saying. It doesn't really matter whether you're on the left, you're on the right, you're in the center, you don't really believe in politics. Whatever you identify as politically, you cannot deny what he's saying. We've seen some of these things. The thing he said about the transgender college in India, he made it up, but it's not that far from reality. I saw something about a transgender opera, gender affirming surgeries in this random nowhere country. We got all this money just being spent. And the question is, why is money being spent? Who's really getting the money? What's the purpose of all this money that we're spending? And then some would say, oh, you guys have no right to make to question it. You guys have no right to go in there and figure out where the money is going. Why don't we as Americans have a right to see where our money is going? Because let's be clear, the federales do not generate money. The federales take our money and they also put debt on our back without us purchasing anything to go then use the money on whatever, on anything. I don't like that. Most Americans don't like that. Even if you're not American, you're not going to like that in your country. Imagine you living in a place where you're paying taxes and your tax money is being spent on the most ridiculous, frivolous things. Meanwhile, we got potholes everywhere. We got all kinds of problems in the country that are not being funded. So if we're going to spend money, that's fine, but let's spend it wisely. Is that so much to ask? I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, shout out to Dave Ramsey, Triple OG. Okay. I like some of what Ramsey says. Some things I'm not really a fan of, but some things I like. I like Dave Ramsey. Shout out to him. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty, so look, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this guy is a complete mess. Now, y'all know about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, right? The MS13 gang member from El Salvador who lived in Maryland for a while. He got deported from Maryland back to El Salvador, where he's from. Upon his arrival, he gets sent to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little rocks, quite literally, like quite literally. Oh, ABL, it's a concentration camp. Answer me this question. If you think that way, answer me this question. When you go to prison in the USA, what happens with your rights? Do you have all your free world rights, or you don't? Once you go to prison, by law, you are a slave. You be in there pressing license plates, knitting garments, t-shirts. You be in there like a Chinese sweatshop worker for next to no money. Minimum wage, ain't no such thing. You might get 10 cents a day or whatever they pay you in there. You get enough to where you can get a honey bun after a week. You're not getting paid much of anything in prison. So how is it any different? We can't talk about what they're doing when we're doing the exact same thing over here. The difference between El Salvador and the USA, the key difference is that they're not soft on crime at all. Parts of the USA, you could do whatever you want and it's fine. You could do whatever you want and it's fine. You could be a repeat offender. You could be arrested 35 times and not go to prison. Over there, they're not so soft on the criminals. They're hard on them, which is appropriate. That is appropriate. Over here, we say, oh, give him his rights, his due process. Now look, hold on. Let me come out right here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on. I gotta show you the gang tattoos from Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Okay, I got to show you the gang tattoos. That's very important. Okay, so look. This is President Trump. It's not AI. It's a real picture from his Twitter account, verified Twitter, verified Donald J. Trump Twitter, and verified White House Twitter. This is him holding a picture of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand with the tattoos. Now, I showed y'all a DHS website article with 8 different reasons why Kilmar Abrego Garcia is not in the USA anymore. The main thing being that he's an MS13 gang member, okay? Now look, you can see his tattoos right here. Hold on. So they have it labeled MS13 because that's what each tattoo means. But those labels are not his tattoo. That's just a label to let you know what's going on. So you got a marijuana leaf, a smiley face with X's for the eyes, a cross, and a skull. That represents MS13. And here's something else. If you go to prison and you have those tattoos, but you're not MS13, they will kill you and it'll be over with. You have to be part of the gang to have these kind of gang tattoos in prison. If you're not, you in trouble. You're in big trouble. And you're not in the regular jail, county jail. This ain't Barney Fife, one sheriff with a big belly like he pregnant with some keys jangling in his pocket. One guy behind a cell, blinging the bars with a coffee mug. It ain't that. It's not that. You're talking about real terrorists in this prison. So if you come in there as a known gang member with gang tattoos and you're not part of the gang that you say that you are with your tattoos, you got a problem. So when people say, oh, there's no evidence, ABL, what more do you need? Do you need him to get on TV and say, yes, I am MS13? Is that what you need for evidence? I don't understand. And let's keep going here. Now, this is the wife posting the picture of Mr. Garcia. And for some reason, she put little heart emojis over his hand. Why are you covering his hand? Why are you doing that? I don't understand. I don't get it. Why cover that? It's because she doesn't want you to see the gang tattoos. That's why. Because the whole thing is, oh, no, he's not MS13. No, he know. You covering the tattoos because you don't want the world to know the truth. Okay, that's what you're doing. It's very simple. She probably got work from a lawyer to do that, to be totally honest with you. Hold on. Matter of fact, let's go to NBC, Washington, D.C. And let's look at a video. I can show you a video. Hold on. I can show you a video in which they blurred his tattoos. Or they blurred his tattoo on his forearm and his hand. All right. Let's watch here. If it'll play, that'd be great. There we go. So look, no sound for the video, but I want you to see what's going on. Again, this is NBC4 Washington, D.C. There goes some of them. So look, you got the one guy in the front that's not Kilmar yet, but there's nothing blurred. Everything is good. You can see his hands, the handcuffs, the whole situation, right? Okay, now, for some reason, when they bring out Kilmar, his hands are blurred and his arm is blurred. Why? Why did they do that? Like, people trying to tell me, oh, well, he just has tattoos, ABL, doesn't mean anything. But why are they trying to cover it up? Why would they do that? Why would the wife cover it? And why would the news out there in DC cover it? It's because they don't want you to see the gang tattoos. Obviously. Now look, here goes the wife. And I won't play the entire thing like I did in my video. But here goes the wife, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wife, talking to Michael Strahan on ABC News. And he asked the $1 million question, hey, it's true that in 2021, you took out a protective order, a restraining order against him. Were you in danger? Did you not feel safe? What's going on?
Have to ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
Husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay, and you know I'm not going to push on that apparently, but how much hope?
So there's so many things there. First of all, that was a non-answer. Did you feel unsafe? Were you not? He's alive. That wasn't the question. That's not an answer to the question I asked you. Now, a good journalist or one that is a free journalist, not on ABC, would ask a follow-up question because that was a non-answer. But I'm sure that he cannot do that on ABC. They're in his ear. Don't ask nothing about that no more. You asked a question, leave it alone. He said it. He was like, well, I guess I can't follow up on that. He's talking to the people behind the scenes, the producers. He would like to follow up, but he can't. See, and that right there, when you're part of old school legacy media, that's how it is. It's what they do to you. You can't just do whatever you want to do, which is the beauty of independent people, because we could do what we want to a certain extent. We have more freedom to ask questions and to get down to the bottom of things and really give you a true story rather than what the media would do, which is to do this. It's totally nuts. Is she illegal too? Hey, you know what? Probably. If she's not illegal, I can't tell. If she's not illegal, I can't tell. That would have been a great question. Hey, are you here legally? I would have, look, if it was me, I'd have asked all the questions. All the questions. And if it was a non-answer, if she left the interview, you know what the answer is. If she doesn't answer the question, you know what the answer is. The answer is that she doesn't really want to, she doesn't want to say that she's here illegally because she'll get deported just the same as him. But yeah, shout out to the wife. And shout out to the senator from Maryland, Chris Van Hollen, meeting with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Now, there's so much I wanted to ask about this. It's like, okay, why is he wearing like a regular shirt with a baseball cap? Are you covering gang tattoos on your forehead or your skull with the hat? Is that what's going on? Are your hands under the table so you won't see the gang tattoos on your knuckles? What's really happening?
Overnight, that remarkable image, Kilmar Abrego Garcia seated across from Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen. The first images of the wrongfully deported Maryland man since we last saw him, head shaved and shackled, held in that notorious prison in El Salvador. Van Hollen traveling to El Salvador this week, demanding to meet with Abrego Garcia, as the Trump administration argues they have no intention of bringing him home.
I asked that, in the interests of mercy, at least allow his wife or his mother or his lawyer to contact him in prison to check on his well-being.
Obviously, he's all right because look, right here, look, he ain't missing no meals. He looks like he's in good health. I'm not seeing no signs of abuse. He's good. He's all right. He's just fine. Working this job in the prison, hopefully. Making bit rocks to little. He's okay. Let's keep going.
Abrego Garcia's wife, Jennifer, to pass along his message of love. But their meeting, a brief reprieve. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele posting, now that he's been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor of staying in El Salvador's custody.
Yay.
The White House insists that Abrego Garcia, who has no criminal convictions, is a violent gang member, deporting him to El Salvador despite a 2019 court order that he not be sent back to his native country because he might face danger there, a mistake the administration previously acknowledged. A federal appeals panel yesterday ripping into the administration, writing the government is asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process that is the foundation of our constitutional order. In a unanimous ruling, the Supreme Court ordered the administration to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release. But the president, who is paying El Salvador $6 million to keep him and others, says it's up to that country to send him back. Pressed on whether he'll take action to force Abrego Garcia's return, the president punting.
I'm going to respond by saying you'll have to speak to the lawyers, the DOJ. I've heard many things about him, and we'll have to find out.
We will find out. Now, I have another article because the whole thing with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he did a little bit of traveling while he was in the United States. He went just in Maryland. He was here in Tennessee for a while too. And he got pulled over on suspicion of human trafficking. Now, here's a detail that you probably have not seen yet. You probably have not heard this detail yet. Hold on. Let me pull it up for you guys right quick. You can see what it says. Maryland man, quote unquote, Maryland man, mistakenly deported to El Salvador has Tennessee ties. This is Friday, April 18th. So that's yesterday. Now, look, I'm going to zoom in and read one piece here. Okay. Now, let's read this one piece. In a development with ties to the volunteer state, the Tennessee Highway Patrol confirmed that they had pulled over Abrego Garcia in 2022. However, officials from the Biden administration reportedly instructed troopers not to detain him. Now, it says State Representative Lee Reeves from Williamson County has been vocal about the situation. Quote, this is why we need more state laws that help us deal with illegal immigrants in Tennessee. Reeves said, my HB 0177 illegal entry bill is one such law. So here's my question. Why did the Biden administration allegedly say to not detain him? And if you guys don't know, that's like Nashville. Williamson County, that's like outside Nashville. That's in a very nice part of Tennessee. Brentwood, Franklin, Cool Springs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Nolanville, all of that. So what are you doing out there when you're a Maryland man? What you doing in Nashville in the nice outskirts with 8 people in the truck? Huh? What's going on? Me thinks that he's a snitch and he's being protected by the federales. A federal informant, to be specific. That's what I think. I don't know that to be certain, but why are they going so hard for this guy? It reminds me of the whole Ray Epps situation. Remember? They said, okay, if you're involved with January 6th, you're going to go to the penitentiary to make big rocks, little rocks, all this, that, and the third, right? But for some reason, when it came to Ray Epps, they protected him. Oh, all the J6 guys got to go to prison except for him. Why? I think he's a Fed, and this guy right here, probably a Fed as well. So they're mad that we deported one of their snitches. That's my humble opinion. I don't know it to be certain, but he's been in trouble since he's been here. Listen, if you're not here legally, how can you beat your wife, and have human trafficking, be a gang member, and not get deported? How? Or at least locked up? It's weird. It's totally weird. And again, he got caught in 2022. You talking about years ago? He's been doing stuff years ago. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty, let's keep rocking here. And we have another Democrat, this one from Oregon. Her name is Maxine Dexter. She's going to fly to El Salvador to try and prison break Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The same as, what's the other guy's name? The same as Chris Van Hollen. He was unsuccessful, so I guess we got to have girl power to come in and save the day. Let's watch.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter here from Oregon's 3rd District. What Trump has done to Kilmar Abrego Garcia is inhumane, cruel, and it's creating a constitutional crisis. Full stop. It is a government-funded kidnapping. Plain and simple. Kilmar, a father of 3, lived in Maryland for over half his adult life. He had legal permission to stay in the United States. Trump mistakenly deported him and is blatantly defying the Supreme Court's order to bring him back. And this isn't just about one man. Trump is targeting international students. He's talking about mass deportations. No one is safe in Trump's America. He is trying to incite fear and is directly assaulting the rule of law. This moment is about whether our government respects the Constitution or steamrolls it. We must speak out. We must stay loud. Our democracy and our humanity depends on it.
Okay, now look, check it out. Tell me the purpose of bringing back an illegal alien. Tell me the purpose of getting an illegal alien out of prison in his home country and bringing him to the United States. For what? He's not a citizen. They're making it seem like this guy was a citizen and he was here legally. He wasn't. He was an illegal alien, gang member involved in crime. He is where he should be. Even if you were able to bring him back, he's going to go right back to where he's at. So it is pointless to do that. He's already where he should be. Leave him right there. You know the way they do certain things with immigration? If they kind of want to deport you, or if you overstay your visa, if you leave the country, you ain't coming back in. Listen, if you got an overstayed visa and you leave the country for whatever the reason may be, you're on vacation. Okay, you want to go to Barbados, you want to go to some kind of tropical island, you want to go to Europe for a holiday, and you want to try to come back? Nope. That passport ain't going to work. Whatever you got, it ain't going to work. You're not going to be able to come back to the country. So wherever you at is wherever you at. You got belongings, you got furniture, you got prized possessions. Hey, man, tell your friends to send it back to you, to ship it over to where you at, because you're not coming back to the USA. You're going to stay wherever you at. And that's the way it should be. Listen, he's in prison in El Salvador. Let him stay right there. Let him stay right there. The nerve of people trying to come over here illegally, trying to dominate. I got rights. You have the right to get up out of here. You have the right to go make big rocks, little rocks, what you got the right to do. Anyway, say the jaw's too strong for you. Hey, yes, you guys have like a kind of a blockish type of situation. Hey, if it's a headbutt fight, I don't want no parts of it. My whole head will be like, it'd be like Moses parting the Red Sea. It'd be a mess. All right, now, speaking about a mess, we got Tampon Tim's daughter, okay? Tampon Tim's daughter. It's no surprise that she is this way because Tampon Tim is a nut. So the apple does not fall far from the tree. Let's check it out.
If Jesus were alive today, and in the United States, this administration would have already taken him and removed him from this country without due process, claimed he was a member of the MS13 gang as a way to try to justify not giving him due process, as if there is any justifiable reason to not giving somebody due process. But yeah, some people don't want to talk about that. It truly is baffling how clear and laid out everything is, and there is still people standing by it. I believe in the good of people and like humanity, humans, you know, deep down at our core, like we care about each other. But that's really being tested, because how anyone is okay with this is terrifying to me. But yeah, if you look like me, speak up, speak out, because we might be the only ones safe from what's coming and some of the only people that are able to stop it. So yeah, it's our duty at this point.
There was so much there. First of all, hold on. Are you white? Hold on. Are you a white supremacist? If you look like me, we're gonna be the only ones that can help. We're gonna be. So you think that just by being white, you are like in the dominant? Isn't that racist? Beyond that, did Jesus have MS13 gang tattoos? Was Jesus in court for years? Did 2 judges say that he was an MS13 gang member? Did he get caught human trafficking only to be saved by the Biden administration? Because he was in custody for the whole thing in Tennessee, but then the Biden DOJ said, yo, y'all got our man, let him go. How are you going to compare this gang member to Jesus Christ? What are we talking about? And you think because you're white, you can save the day? The typical white savior complex. That's you. Like, you're just completely in la la land. But listen, I'm not surprised because it is Tampon Tim's daughter. So she is a reflection of him and her mother. They both stone cold stomp down liberals. So there you go. You're going to produce that if you are liberal parents. You're going to produce liberal crazy children. So yeah, shout out to her. I'm not racist, but only white people can save the day. I'm not racist, but I'm white and I'm the best. The funniest thing in the world. The funniest thing in the world. Actually, she won't do a thing, but just be, all she's going to do is go to Starbucks. Straight to Starbucks and be chilling. That's it. Okay, it'd be a dude getting put into a van, illegal alien, and she's going to be Starbucks sipping. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty, let's go to my main man, the Triple OG, Scott Jennings over on CNN.
So now you each have 30 seconds to tell us what unusual place you would want to hold an event. Scott?
Well, normally big political fundraisers are held at big donors' houses or in restaurants and fancy places in Washington. But it strikes me that we need to throw a big fundraiser for Senator Van Hollen and the rest of the Democrats at the Seacot prison down in El Salvador, because they've never had more energy for anything in their lives than these illegal immigrants. And so I think we ought to take all the Democrat donors down there and raise all the money and show them exactly what they're investing in.
Right on. Hey, I second that notion. I second the notion, Mr. Scott. That's right on my point. Hey, have it right down there. You guys got so much attention, so much energy, so much motion behind this. Go down there, raise funds. You could get Tampon Tim's daughter. You could get some of these left-wing people. You could get all the LGBTQ, LMNOP, X, Y, and Zs. Get other gang members out there. Have a whole parade. Have a 21-gun salute. They got all the guns down there they want. So have that down there. I think that makes sense. What say you? Y'all let me know. All right. Shout out to Scott Jennings again over on CNN, destroying the liberals every single day. Now, we got to get to a little bit of this here. Hold on. Where do I want to go? Oh, here's what I want to do. We got a little bit of a follow-up to the whole thing about the Big Bag snacks. So I said it before in the video and on the live stream that we got at least 3 states trying to ban junk food like candy and soda from SNAP benefits, aka food stamps. Arkansas, Indiana, and Tennessee. Now, there's 4 states in total trying to do this.
Right.
Here is Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders speaking about what's happening with the whole situation. Let's check it out.
Now you can use food stamps to buy a soft drink or a candy bar from a gas station, but you can't use them to buy an Arkansas-raised hot rotisserie chicken from a grocery store. That's the definition of crazy.
In this first-of-its-kind waiver, Arkansas's governor lists items like soda, candy, and fruit or vegetable juice with less than 50% natural juice as ineligible items, and it lists rotisserie chicken as an eligible item.
1/3 of our state has diabetes or is pre-diabetic. When the numbers are that high, it's important for us to examine a system that actively encourages and subsidizes unhealthy, highly processed, addictive products.
Let's pause. That is a great point. 1/3 of the state is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. You got to do something. And I understand, we're living in America, you got freedom. I get it. Like I said, if you want to take an entire box of sugar to the face, you could do that in this country. However, we should not subsidize that for people. We should not subsidize bad habits, bad health. If the government is going to pay for food, let's let it be food that is a little bit good for you at least, not so unhealthy for you at least, because if we don't change that, all we're going to do is pay for people when they go to the hospital after they get sick from eating the food. It doesn't make sense to subsidize poor health. Then we got to subsidize the whole thing about the healthcare system. We got to subsidize that, so it doesn't make any sense.
Governor Sanders says she believes this will encourage those who receive SNAP benefits to eat healthier.
The N in SNAP stands for nutrition, and we have taken a program that is meant to be about providing and helping people put food on their table and put something else in their hands and in their stomachs.
However, others...
And here's something else I got to say. She looks very good, a lot more slender than she had been before, so she is taking her own advice. Hopefully it's not Ozempic. I hope not. Hopefully it's just good diet, exercise is what I hope. But either way it goes, she looks a lot better than she had been before. So shout out to Sarah Huckabee Sanders for practicing what she preaches.
And helping people put food on their table and put something else in their hands and in their stomachs.
However, others say this could further harm those who already struggle.
If they can't get fresh fruits, fresh produce, those types of things, because they live someplace where that's not available, then we're literally taking food out of their mouth.
Nah. I don't want to hear that, because we got all kind of, you could buy everything else online. Y'all got Fashion Nova, Shein, Amazon packages, all of that stuff. You order straight to your house. You order in DoorDash straight to your house. Nah, you could get, and matter of fact, back in the day, they would deliver the food to you. Way back in the day, before the internet even really existed. You would get a box at your door, government cheese, all that kind of stuff, powdered milk, your staples. I suggest you get rice. You can get rice anywhere. It's easy to ship. It's easy to get sent to your house. It's simple. And here's what I would say. If you live in an area where you can't get certain things, if you can get other things, there should be a store there that provides what you can eat, because it'll get purchased. You can't buy the junk anymore. So the store going to provide better food. If the store can't sell the junk much anymore because of the food stamp cuts, they're going to just bring in better food, or you can order it online.
Here in the state of Arkansas, of our 75 counties, at least 62 of them have a food desert, and rural individuals already have a limited access to fresh fruits and vegetables and health.
That's completely an excuse. It's completely bogus. The whole food desert thing is bogus, because you could still eat well even if you don't live in an area that has a lot of options. You can still eat well. The problem with people in these poor areas is that they eat food all day long. They eat too much of it. They get their checks, they get their stamps, and they just go eat. That's why 1/3 of the state is big like that. Not because they're eating bad quality food, it's because they eat too much of the food. And the bad quality food makes your health worse. Eating too much food makes you obese and big back. Makes your back go like that from eating too much food. Your health deteriorates from eating the bad food. You see what I'm saying? If you eat too much meat and whatnot, you just get bigger. If you eat too much meat plus sugar and salt and fat and this and that, processed food, chemicals, that causes the health problems. It's a difference. So yeah, shout out to Sarah Huckabee Sanders and all the states that want to do away with the big back snacks. Now, let's go to Leticia James. Hold on. Let's go to her right quick. Now, she's been accused of mortgage fraud for having a house out there by NOB in Norfolk by the base. In the hood, kind of, right? Like Titus Town. It's like, why you out there? Anyway, it seems like she's done something wrong here, but she's responded to all this. Let's watch.
Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate transactions?
No, not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless.
Pause. Is that legal? Are you able to use government communications to do this? Is that legal? To the legals out there, y'all give me some advice. Give me some information here. Is what she's doing legal? Let's start from the top, actually.
Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate transactions?
No, not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless. The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour. And as you mentioned, my office was successful in securing a $454 million judgment against Donald Trump and others for exaggerating the value of his assets. He engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And the interest is accruing each and every day while the case is on appeal.
The dumbest case in the world. How are you going to tell me that I said my own property is worth too much money? And since I said it's worth too much, how do you get locked up for saying that your property is worth X? That's just my opinion. It's up to the bank to agree. They're going to evaluate it. They're going to come inspect it. They're going to appraise it and then see if they agree. It's called negotiation. I say it's worth X. They say it's worth Y. We meet at Z and we break bread and that's it. How are you going to send me to prison for that? Like, what is that? Anyway, I'm getting triggered.
In the first department.
Well, not prison, but how are you going to make me pay money? Why I got to pay a fine because you think that I didn't negotiate right? How is that a crime?
It's important that individuals know that this is nothing more than the continuation of the tour. He went after law firms, universities, immigrants, women. Thousands of federal employees right now are unemployed. Our government is in chaos and in disarray. Medicaid, Social Security, CFPB, and the list goes on and on and on. And as you know, as you mentioned, each and every day, my office is leading the fight against these executive orders, which have no legal import at all, have no legal significance.
I have two words, El Salvador.
And we are standing up for the rights and privileges of New Yorkers and Americans. I will not be silenced. I will not be bullied. I will not bend. I will not break. And I will not bow to anyone.
All right. So is it appropriate to use official government communications to do what you just did right there? Like, is that like what we do nowadays, 2025? I thought you couldn't do stuff like that. I thought that was a violation. So I hope that she's convicted on the real estate mortgage fraud and for this. That's what I hope. We'll see how it goes. Okay, the corruption, yeah, somebody said so corrupt. The corruption is real. It's 100% real. So, yeah. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Seafoam says, I grew up poor in a quote-unquote food desert on Snap. We took the bus, train, and the cab to go buy real food. None of us are obese. We put in the effort and educated ourselves into healthy eating. Exactly. There you go. Shout out to you, Seafoam. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Okay? This is America. You can make it happen. Especially nowadays, you got all this stuff. Like the people that talk about now in 2025, talking about I live in the food desert. You got all kind of Amazon boxes, Fashion Nova, Shein, TikTok shop boxes all in your house. But you can't order a bag of rice. You got to go get the biggest back snack you can find. I call BS on that. Now, here is Stephen Miller addressing Leticia James. Let's watch.
Leticia James says the allegations against her are nothing more than a revenge tour by the Trump administration. What's your response?
My response is that Leticia James is one of the most corrupt, shameless individuals ever to hold public office. She is guilty not only of those crimes, but of countless more crimes by using and abusing her public office to try to persecute an innocent man, depriving him of his rights, engaging in a conspiracy to obstruct our election, and to overthrow our democratic processes and procedures. She is guilty of multiple significant serial criminal violations.
Leticia James.
There you go. So again, shout out Stephen Miller. And it might get you on that. Oh, he said she's guilty. She's not convicted. We know what he meant. We know what he's talking about. And we know he's not lying either. We know he's not lying. We can see it right in front of our eyes. We can see it. I'm still trying to get over the whole thing about, Trump said his property was worth too much. Therefore, we're going to make her pay $1 trillion or whatever the dollar amount is nowadays. I'm like, nah, not a fan. Not a fan at all of that nonsense there. All right. Now, where we going to go next? Where shall we go next? Hold on. Let's go right here with Janet Mills. Let's go to Janet Mills. And let's look at some of the testimonials of the young ladies affected by men and women's sports.
My first experience was when I was 13 years old. I was going to change for gym, and I walked into the locker room, and there was a biological male there. From that point on, my junior year, I competed in Nordic skiing and lost to a biological male numerous of times. I am fighting this fight for generations to come. And the fact that our governor can look the women of our state in the eyes and say, I'm not going to fight for you, is heartbreaking, and it's betrayal, like Riley said. I just want to thank all these women standing behind me and President Trump for fighting for us, because even though my own governor isn't fighting for me, I know there are people out there fighting for me.
So I compete in soccer and indoor track and outdoor track. And like was mentioned previously today, I had to watch at the Maine Class B State Indoor Track Championship as my close friend and my teammate and other female competitors lost the state championship to a biological male. And this was heartbreaking for me to have to watch. And Riley said that it's betrayal, and that's what it is. It is the job of our elected officials to protect our young female athletes, and they have failed to do that. We walk into sports expecting to have a level playing field, and to walk into the state championship to see a biological male there and to lose to a biological male, that's betrayal. And so I am extremely grateful to AG Bondi for standing up for us when our elected officials aren't doing that. And on behalf of the girl athletes in Maine, I just want to say thank you all, and I look forward to having a level playing field back after this fight. So thank you.
All right, there we go. So that's the girls saying, hey, this is what's going on with the boys playing against girls. I never thought I would sit here and say this. Like, I don't understand why it's a thing that people think is okay. Why does it make sense to allow boys to play in girl sports. And you never see it the other way around, because you do have a thing called trans men, women who identify as men. They do exist. I've met them in person. Y'all know I talk about the girl from Jubilee all the time. 5'1", 125 pounds, soaking wet. Fun size with a beard. I'm like, I'm not believing it. You got a beard, but you're just a girl with a beard. That's all. And it's funny because the way they dress is never like an upstanding citizen. It's like some kind of street dude. Anyway, I'm getting way off of the path here. Let's go to Janet Mills and hear her response.
Let me also say, this isn't about who plays on the playing field, as I said, on the athletic field. This is also a diversionary tactic. You know, in the media, that the current administration is taking a lot of heat in other courts across this country, including in the District of Columbia right now and in Maryland right now, for other deprivations of due process, as alleged. So to me, these kinds of actions and press conferences are a diversionary tactic. From what? From what the real issues are facing families across Maine, families across the United States. Let me also say,
it's not a diversionary tactic. You have your constituents being harmed by this and you're ignoring them, just the same way as the Maryland Senator, Chris Van Hollen. Your citizenry are being harmed by illegal aliens, and you're going to El Salvador to advocate for an illegal alien, and not just any illegal alien, a gang member illegal alien with gang tattoos y'all trying to cover up. I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. But hey, that's your Democratic Party. Hey, that's your 2025 Democratic Party. Let's not do anything for our constituents. But what we're going to do is champion the illegal alien, champion the criminal, champion the transformer, champion the man trying to interfere and involve himself in women's private spaces. That is completely ridiculous, irresponsible, and disgusting. It's disgusting. I wish I would. What if I had a daughter or niece or something like that, and then they come to me talking about, daddy, uncle, it's a boy. Man, please. What if you taking your daughter to a public restroom and it's a man in there? Man, please. You get in the Beats by Dre. You get in the Beats by Dre. You're going to get stomped into the finest of wines. It's going to be a fine wine if I catch you in there. But that's what they on the left, that's what they promote. That's what they endorse. And they're trying to figure out why people are so turned off. It ain't hard to tell. It's not hard to tell. Now, look, I found that house. Remember I was talking about that house earlier? The bando, basically, in New York. Now, if you're kind of squeamish, hold on. Before I show it, if you're squeamish, don't look. But it ain't that bad, in my humble opinion. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. Okay? It's not that good either. So, let's check this out.
Philosophy is to buy the worst house on the best plot. The logic is simple, that it's easy to change the house, but it is hard to change the community. So when I was looking for a hotel room size studio for my occasional visits to the city, this is exactly what I did. This place was a dump, but it was near my friends and work interests in the city. So I renovated, and this is how it turned out. Now, it is tiny, but it is all I need for my occasional visits. It's clean, and it's bright, and it's homey with my art and my things. And because the building across the street is only 3 stories high in a city full of skyscrapers, I get a little bit of a skyline view. So let me know what you think about the transformation.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? The before and after? Now look, when I see stuff like that in New York City or something like that especially, okay, you made it look good on the outside, but did you break down the walls? Because you're going to get all kinds of rats and bats. You're going to get the Wuhan wet market in your house at a certain point. You're going to have them rats that look like little baby cat, not baby cats. You're going to get rats the size of full-grown cats. You're going to see this big fur ball in your house moving, you ain't gonna know what's going on. You're gonna see a super shredder rat all in your crib. You're gonna see Master Splinter on the couch, like, yo, yeah, man, bring the sushi right in front of the door. I get it. Don't worry about it. And you back already? Normally you're not here. I could just kind of chill until you get back home, but my fault. I'll go ahead and go back in the wall right now. Yeah, I'll go back in the wall right now. My fault. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. It looks pretty on the outside, but that'd be a pretty roach motel, I'll tell you what. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Let's keep on rocking. We got super chats and we got calls to get to. The number to call, 706-406-3287, if I'm not mistaken. 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description box. Also, it'll be right here in the ticker below the screen for you. I'll get to the calls in just one moment, but let's look at the super chats. All righty. Thank you to, where we at? Thank you to Kai's Proximus, who says, he has risen, Christ is King, Lord of the Lords. Right on. Thank you to Jaleesa Salvatore, who says, as long as you don't have a drunk uncle dressed up. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, happy National Cat Lady Day. Thank you to Kai's Proximus, who says, Vet Biker thinks coffee should be EBT banned. What about you? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not a coffee guy, so I don't really know. That's a really good question. What do y'all think? Should coffee be banned from EBT? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Here's my opinion about EBT, any kind of welfare benefit. It should only be for your core staples. I'm talking about basic food, rice, beans, maybe some chicken. What they should do with EBT is like HelloFresh. HelloFresh will just send you a box of ingredients and recipes you can make your food. Now, if you got an EBT box, maybe it's not that fancy, but maybe it is. The food might not be the best quality, but it's better than what you're going to eat at a restaurant a lot of times, because a lot of y'all will kind of frown at McDonald's and then go to Outback Steakhouse. Well, I got a news flash. It ain't that much of a difference in the quality of food, to be totally honest with you. But that's a different story. Anyway, I would just give boxes with the food already in it, so there's no cash to manipulate, because what happens with EBT is that they're able to sell the actual benefits in some kind of way. But if you're giving the box of food, they can't sell it. The problem with that would be people stealing. So I would say let it be like a food bank center where your box would be. Go down to the food bank and pick up your box. It'd be like going to school. Like how I said earlier, you got a lunch ticket. Okay, well, you get a card, you can scan it. You can get your box, take your box with you, and that's it. Simple. Scan your card, get your box. Or if you're living in a better area, it'll get sent straight to your house. What do y'all think? Good idea, bad idea? Let me know. Thank you to Cardinal Flanagan, who says, thanks, ABL. Really glad how respectful you are and encourage folks to be. Cheers. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. Thank you to Drunken Yoda, who says, cannabis, even in the first paragraph of the Torah, is biblically kosher, except during Pashak, Passover this week. Hopefully I said that right. I'm trying to get my different languages on point. Facts 100, and cheers, everyone. Fist bump emoji. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you to Tim the Beard, who says the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man, Malcolm X. Right on. Absolutely. Thank you to Jaletia, who says, I always feel safe with ABL when he talks. Always good advice and knowledge. I can't get enough. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Samantha Bush, who says, my interest is 3.5%. Should I pay off my house for $125,000? Invest in buying a duplex that I will own half, estate value $415,000, or invest in the stock market, or pay my house off? Well, it depends on how much money you got. It depends. That's a good question. So I would stay at my interest rate. If you have any other monies, I would invest in the stock market. I think, here's my opinion, maybe y'all might not agree. I think real estate is a good investment, or it can be a good investment. But stocks, for me personally, is better. I get a better return on stocks than real estate. But real estate, it's a long game. If you can actually own a property outright and you're not going to get beat in the head by taxes, it just depends. But for me, it's easier and I can make more money with stocks. Personally, that's just me. So what do y'all think? Real estate, stocks, what's the better investment? Thank you to, and then plus, of course, with stocks, ain't no debt. Real estate, you're going to have debt. Unless you just got trillions of dollars laying around. Unless you got $100 million or something like that, it's going to be debt involved. But I'll be debt free with stocks. Okay, now it's going to be risks, HP. It'll be risks regardless because you see the market crashed. So if you're relying upon that and you wanted the money right away, well, now we in the crash. So you lost a lot of money, but it'll go back up though, always. With real estate, it's probably a little bit more risky. Y'all let me know. HP says stocks for your average citizen. Yes, stocks are more accessible to everyday people. Robinhood, a lot of y'all kind of got mad at Robinhood back in the day, but I still use Robinhood. I've made a lot of money on Robinhood. I've made a ton of cash on Robinhood. No debt, just buying stocks, knowing what to buy. And if you get into day trading, forget about it. If you're good like that, you can make a lot of money. Real estate is harder, in my opinion. Okay, hold on. Eric says, ABL, I've heard they're making a movie about the Brawley brothers from Richmond, Virginia. Have you heard? I have not heard about that. But I'm going to check it out and see what's going on with it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that right now. Oh, there were serial killers in Virginia. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even know about this because that's over there, though. But I'll check that out. Thank you for that. Thank you to Tim DeBeer, who says, you hear Rahm Emanuel is running for president. Good luck with that. And you know what? Here's something about Rahm Emanuel. He's Jewish. That ain't going to work because Democrats don't like Jews right now. That's why they couldn't pick Josh Shapiro to be Kamala's vice president, is because he's Jewish. So that ain't going to work off rip. Thank you to Jaleisha, who says, one thing I hate is when someone so-called speaks for black, brown people and they embarrass us knowing we aren't really like that. Exactly. 100%. Jaleisha also says, what do you think about the pants sagging continuing going on even after they know what it means? I'm tired of the ghetto black love life. Yeah, pants sagging, I don't know nothing about that. If we're sagging pants in 2025, we're just not really using our brains properly. I don't know nothing about that. Thank you to Skinnerman Roll, who says Van Hollen should have just stayed there with him. Exactly. Stay right there with him. You love him so much, just stay right there with you. Hold on. I got to pull up that picture. That picture was nuts of him with the googly eyes, first date eyes. Okay. I found my love. Hold on. Here you go right here. Like, bro, what in the world is this? First date eyes. It's like, do you want to kiss him, sir? That was crazy. I'm like, bro, what in the world is happening here? Nuts, totally nuts. But anyway, no pun intended. Thank you to Papa Nayashelu, who says, I refuse to allow these fools to move the illegal immigrant goalposts. Prisoner or priest, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you got to go. Exactly. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. Why would I want this guy to come back? You already at home anyway. You're already home. Just stay there. Why you got to come back here? That's this not your home. Your home is El Salvador. Like, what's going on? Thank you to Skinnerman Roll, who says Jesus is the real top G. LOL gang gang. Shout out to Jesus. Thank you to Jack Elsker Deg, who says UK down in the tubes, but one thing UK does is make people receiving food aid take 6 weeks cooking lessons. Okay, well, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Let's learn how to cook some actual food. Yeah. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous, who says, did you hear about the insanity in New York City subway? I mean, what's new at this point with New York City subway? I have no idea. And Seafoam again says, I grew up poor in a so-called food desert on Snap. We took the bus, train, and the cab to go buy real food. None of us are obese. We put in the effort and educated ourselves on healthy eating. Right on. 100% correct. All righty. We got calls on deck. I know the drill. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658. I'm tripping. 706-406-3287. See, that's muscle memory. 706-406-3287. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. All righty. And let me turn that on and we're good to go. Yeah, I keep saying that old number, but yeah, RIP to Skype. Skype dead. Skype gone. We got the new number over on the Googles. All righty. Let's go 331. You know how much speaker to.
Hey, ABL, it's Les.
All righty. What's going on?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Good. I absolutely enjoyed your show today. I just want to make two quick comments. I want to make a comment on the rightfully so. I was trying to find the words. Rightfully so deported MS13 gang member.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wanted just to sit here and sit here. Yes, I'm doing that. I wanted to comment that again, we've all said it, you said it. He is in the place where he is supposed to be. He is at home. He is the citizen of El Salvador. He is going to stay there. I hope that which he won't. The president of El Salvador, he won't go back on his word. What I am shocked though, ABL, is the simple fact that who was it? Hollen?
Yes.
The senator, right? Senator Hollen.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out there and what you said basically has like a nostalgic, like a first date, like the way his eyes were just glistening. It was crazy.
It was.
Like what are we doing here? But I thought that was insane only because I recently I think it was the press conference. It was sometime last week with the American citizen Rachel Morin, her death. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so her mom Patty went ahead and made a speech, and it was, I mean, her whole speech was just, it was sad. I teared up. I'm not going to lie, because when you have kids, you can relate, and it's very heartbreaking when you have this senator using taxpayer dollars to fly to El Salvador to try to accomplish a goal that obviously it's unattainable. He's not going to bring and illegally smuggle that illegal criminal into the U.S. And he barely, if not didn't pay any attention to Rachel Morin's death. I thought that was sad. It's very devastating, but that tells you where the left stands. They love criminals, they defend them, they stand up for them, and they advocate for them. But where are they to advocate for the American citizens and our right to live safe here in the USA?
Exactly. That's the whole point. Because, okay, if you're a senator, your focus should be on your constituents. That should be the only thing you're worried about. Worried about illegal aliens, people that's in gangs, violent people. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And shame on the wife. I'm going to be very honest with you, ABL. I had saw a documentary. I want to say it was like a couple of years ago, where it was interviewing girlfriends and wives to MS13 gang members, right? So if he truly was one, right? And I'm just saying truly, because it's like what you said, if he's not really one, and the gangs out there figure him out, I mean, he could be 6 feet under for that. You can't be doing stuff like that. But I had saw this documentary, and all of them say that they cannot leave their man because they know what's coming. They'll be 6 feet under themselves. So it kind of makes sense why she would deflect or actually say no, that he wasn't a part of it, but also deflect from the question when it was brought up about the whole restraining order thing. So, and if you notice, ABL, in that video, she's actually looking up when that question was asked to her about the restraining order. She looked up. Someone was there.
Well, I was surprised. Probably somebody coaching her.
Yeah, I caught that. Maybe the attorney, maybe someone close that she had, but you could tell she glanced up like, did I say that correctly or something? You know, like. So that, and again, I just want to touch bases on this whole SNAP, the EBT, the government assistance for the food. I think that I'm just gonna put it this way, and sometimes we just need rough reality, especially for the people that are on this government assistance program. If you're going to be extending your hand out to the American public tax-paying citizens for assistance, you best believe that we have the right to say what you can and cannot do.
That's right.
So I want to leave it as that, ABL. I want to leave it as that, but it was a really good idea what you brought up with the whole hello, or like some type of contract with a company like that. So that way there's no mishandling of money, and everybody gets nutritional food either right at their door, what you said, you know, another option where they can pick up their boxes. I think that's a phenomenal idea, but at least in the blue states, you know, that's never going to happen, ABL.
Right, of course.
So I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for taking my call. God bless you. God bless the chat. Everyone, tomorrow, enjoy your Easter. Let's not forget the actual meaning of that God, Jesus rose from the dead. He died to save us from our sins. And just, you know, be safe out there. And the little patriots are here. They want to say good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate y'all.
Take care, ABL. God bless you. Bye.
We're famous.
Yes, you are famous. Shout out to y'all. Always a great call. Shout out to Les. Shout out to the youngins. All right, the number to call is 706-406-3287. Let's go. 904 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Nikki from Florida.
All righty. What's happening?
Yeah, so I kind of want to talk about or see what you think about. We had a incident where a YouTuber or a streamer went to the Philippines, got himself in some pretty big trouble. And this is kind of in relation to, you know, immigrants coming over here and causing crimes and stuff, and how we have every right to, you know, take action on those immigrants. This guy in the Philippines, all he did basically was go in there and harass some people. And he's facing like 25 years in prison in the Philippines now. They're kind of making an example out of him. And I think that's something that they should do. And I think that what we're doing here in the U.S., you know, taking care of illegal immigrants doing crimes is, you know, not even as bad as like what they're doing to this guy in the Philippines. They're putting him in prison for up to 25 years. I don't know if you heard about it.
I've not heard about that, but I would expect that when you go to these foreign countries and you want to start acting up, because what happens is if they just let that kind of stuff go on, it's going to continue. And that's going to that's going to damage their society. So they don't want any parts of that. So you go over there acting the fool. Well, hey, everywhere's not the United States. You can't just do whatever you want to do anywhere. So that like you said, make it an example.
Yeah, it just goes to show how lenient we've been here for a long time. I mean, allowing rapists and stuff to get out of jail free cards, and we have people going to other countries doing not nearly as bad of a thing and getting in lots of trouble for it. And we should kind of follow suit, in my opinion. So I think what we're doing is good.
Absolutely.
Now that Trump's in office.
Right on.
I just wanted to tell you about that and get your feedback. I appreciate you, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, man. Don't go to the Philippines acting the fool. Don't go overseas acting up. Like, I see a lot of these Thailand, like, people go to Thailand and act up when they get drunk and start fighting. Man, they will beat you down. The Muay Thai guys out there will beat you to death. So don't do it. If you go over somewhere, you go abroad, behave. And I would say the same thing to anyone coming here. When you come here to the country, come legally and behave. Don't commit crime. Don't harass people. Don't be a gang member, engaging in human trafficking. Behave when you come here. And when it's time to go ahead and leave. Simple. I would say that for any country in the world. And if you want to act up, you want to act crazy, hey, man, they got penitentiaries all over the world. And their rocks are much bigger than our rocks. 559, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Pastor from California. How's it going?
Going well, man. How about yourself?
Hey, good, man. Good hearing from you. You know, the oldest Pearl Harbor World War II veteran passed away yesterday. And it was really disturbing because God bless that man, a true hero forever in our history. And it was really disturbing to me to see all these leftists coming out and running him down, running our World War II veterans down. And I'm just wondering, why does the people on the left, these radicals, these people, why do they seem to hate our greatest generation so much? What is it that triggers them with our, American heritage, our history, our veterans, that fought in World War II? It's just, what is it that triggers these people? I don't understand all the hate that they have towards these people that literally they owe everything for the very reason that they're able to put this man down, and have that free speech and not be speaking German today. And I just was wondering what your take on that whole thing is with the left.
Well, I think it's just a lack of respect for elders in general. They don't really care. Okay, the parents get old, they throw them in the home and don't go see them. It's just a lack of respect. They are selfish. They don't understand history. A lot of them are just bad people in general. I think that's kind of what's going on here.
Yeah, and I was noticing this news article that they have going around right now on X, how in Florida they literally had to cancel like spring break because of the violence with all the young people and everything, causing fights, people getting shot, stores being robbed, having, street, oh gosh, where they close off the intersections and they do like that street
takeover. Yeah.
And it's so crazy how even with us, like spring break, we used to go down, maybe have like a little fun, partying here and there, be on the beach, just, having a good time. Whereas now these kids, instead of having fun, they're basically like wanting to either do something that lands them in prison or gets them killed. And I just don't know what's going to have to be done, but it just like seems that this country needs to have a turnaround soon. We need to have another greatest generation, because if not, I don't know what America is going to be like in 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, do you see that? Like all of our younger generations just falling into this black hole of crime and despair and just, I guess, irreparable harm that they won't be walking away from. Do you kind of see the I guess you could say, for lack of better terms, are younger generations walking off of this cliff for the most part?
I think what's happening here is there will be some who go down that direction, a negative direction. They'll be self-destructive, but then there's others who will fill in. Like I'm seeing it happen right now. People talking about, oh, it's so hard out here. But yet I'm seeing new houses being built. I'm seeing luxury cars being sold. There are some people who are going forward and others who are going to go back. If you're going backward, you'll be left in the back. And ultimately, you're going to die off. Those who are going to be truly progressive in the real way, not in the liberal politician kind of way, those who are truly going to go forward will succeed in this nation. And those who are not keeping up will just die off.
Really wise words, ABL. For a topic that I, find difficult to express, because we see it with our own eyes, we hear about it on the news, but yet for me, knowing both generations, my great-grandparents were the greatest generation, seeing how wonderful they were in this country, and then now seeing these kids, it's very hard to kind of explain, and I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much for all the clarity, ABL, and your time. I really appreciate it. God bless you, sir, and God bless the United States of America, and God bless our greatest generation, our World War II veterans. You take care, sir.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Great call. Shout out to the caller. And shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Just keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 915 here online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL?
Everything is good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not much. I was calling because I found it interesting what the previous caller was talking about as far as respect for elders goes, just because I recently started teaching high school math, and what I'm starting to notice is that there is like some level of disrespect, I would say, like towards teachers, and it's getting depressing actually, because what a lot of teachers are doing is, at least at my school and what I'm hearing throughout all the district, is that teachers walk into a classroom and they're like, all right, guys, pull up your laptops and you're going to learn online. And the teacher will sit down, take attendance, and the teacher won't teach because, I'm starting to find out the hard way. And what I'm starting to find out is that when I'm up there teaching, there's a lot of like students that are just on their cell phones, not paying attention. And when I ask them to put away their phone because I'm up here teaching, like, hey, kid, put your phone away. And they get mad. Like, some of them will even tell me, like, straight up, like, hey, you're not my dad. You can't be telling me to put my phone away. It's, like, pretty shocking.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't know how that even got to be a thing, because when I was in school, if you had any kind of electronic device, whether it be a beeper, a cell phone, well, cell phones, we didn't really have phones back then, but any kind of device, we had like little game systems, pagers. You could not have any of that. Like, it was immediate. You're going to go to the office. You're going to get suspended. You might get expelled. It was a serious thing, but I feel like maybe the penalty is not really there. There's no way to enforce any kind of punishment. So the kids do whatever they want. But ultimately, I don't really blame a lack of punishment or fear of punishment. I don't really blame that. I blame a lot of their parents, because before you go to school, you got to have your parents tell you, hey, you got to respect your teacher. You can't do this. You can't do that. You have to perform well. So if the parents don't really care about the kids, they're just kind of sending them off and they're being neglectful toward them, they're giving them an iPad and just going about their day. Of course, when they go to school, they'll continue the same behavior. So really, it starts at home.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with the parents, because I was at a softball game like earlier this week, right? And what I noticed was one of the parents of one of my students that was playing, she wasn't even watching the game. She was on her cell phone, like watching a video. And also her daughters, like the younger daughters, they're like probably like 5, 6 years old, 7. They were on their iPads. Like they weren't even watching their sister play. And I thought that was like super depressing, because I think it jumps back to like the cell phones in the classroom, because I think that what I'm starting to notice is that there's like a very small attention span that these students have. Like it's smaller than what it was in the past. And I really do believe that I think it's a bad thing that a lot of parents are shoving iPads like in their kids' faces at an early age like that.
Yeah, it's really a problem.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, that's all I had to. I just wanted to get your take on that. But hope you have a good night. Enjoy your show, by the way.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah, man. Ultimately, it comes down to the parenting. Because I could never imagine doing something like that in school, because I know I get in trouble and I get home, my mom is like this tall, but will beat you down like you stole something, you do something wrong. I feared my parents. I feared getting in trouble. I feared doing the wrong thing. But these kids, some kids, not all, some of these kids don't really care. All right, let's go 435. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
How's it going? This is Zach.
All righty, man. What's happening?
What's up, man? Hey, so I just heard the guy talking, kind of asking, why are these new generations kind of resentful towards the older generations? And one sec. And that's what it is. It's resent. So I heard it explained as, imagine if you went to a carnival and you show up and you're all excited and you're there, ride the rides, eat the food, do the whole thing. And you show up, but you're late and everyone's leaving. They've all had a great time. They've experienced all the attractions and rides of the carnival. But the rides are shutting down. The food vendors, they're shutting down. They're done for the night. And everything's just kind of closing down. And that was the analogy to describe what it feels like to be born in something that seems to be reaching the stages of what used to be possible are now inaccessible to the newer generations. And you can see all these new types of technologies, the proliferation of technologies that are taking jobs, the oversaturation of all different types of industries, places where people used to have jobs, those no longer exist. You see the homes are too expensive. Nobody can afford to work what used to be just a regular 40-hour work week, and you could supply everything you needed to for a family, and you could buy a home and do all of these things. You can't get those things anymore with what they used to get. But now you take that and you add to the mix that we have the internet, and the internet shows everybody what to compare themselves to. And they show them the lives of Mr. Beast or the day traders you were talking about, who are making buttloads of money off of the market day trading. And then all of these different types of lifestyles that other people are living with half of the work that, or not half of the work, 10% of the work that is being put in on these, people say, go get a job at a trade. Well, really, at a trade job, I mean, even today with the prices that have gone up, people are still just getting by. So when you're saying people are either going up or they're going back down, this is the decimation of this in-between that once existed, which you'd probably call the middle class, but you're either, it's feast or famine out here. So the carnival is closed. So people are asking, why are people resentful towards the boomer generation? I'm not a boomer. My mother's a boomer. I'm 37 years old. But, because it's all gone, because the carnival's shut down. There's no prospects anymore. I mean, yes, you can work your butt off, and you can do something, but it's not the life that it would have been 40, 50 years ago if you would put in the same amount of effort. And now you have the entire world to compare yourself to. So just something for people to consider.
All right, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Yeah, I see his point. You know, the middle class basically is eroding. That's a real thing. But you know what? Here's something else I want to say. The middle class is eroding in some places more than others. California, for example. How y'all even make it, I don't really know. Also, here's something else. The middle class may not be available for you in the place where you want it to be available. If you want to be a middling kind of person in New York City, it's not going to happen. LA, not going to happen. Now, if you want to be a middling kind of person in Ohio, maybe it might be able to happen depending upon where you live. A lot of y'all going to Columbus, so that might not be the wave in the future for a middling kind of, but you could do that in smaller places. You can live a more modest lifestyle. But the problem is we see so much on our phones, we see so much on television that we want to have. We feel entitled to it. When was there a time where we were getting these devices for $1,000 every year? Like spending money like it's nothing, the online shopping, the constant need to consume. You can live a more moderate and modest lifestyle, but you got to want to do that. You have to want to do it. Think about our parents and what they had. Did they have these big McMansions we have right now? Like a lot of your parents, if they boomers, if they grew up in the 60s, like my mom had a washing board. You know what a washing board is? Our lives are so much easier now, and we want them even easier. We want all the creature comforts, all the luxury things. We want to travel the world, go on vacation. We want to go to Europe. We want to go to Asia. We want to do everything. At the same time, we want to say you want to live in the middling kind of lifestyle. You can't have it both ways. If you live a middling lifestyle and you want to do all these things and have all these things, it's going to be hard. If you want a more modest lifestyle, you can live that in this country. But you got to kind of understand where you are. You got to be in a certain place. And as far as having a trade, it's not necessarily about getting a job. It's about having skills that you can use in a variety of ways. A lot of people rely on services that they pay. Okay, you calling pest control, you're calling this service, you calling that service, you calling the repairman to come fix your dryer. You're spending a bunch of money because you have no skills. And if you lose a job at a desk or something like that, you can't go easily replace it because you don't have any actual skills. And if you're older, especially, and you have no skills, you out of luck. But if you're 55 years old and you're a good welder, you can still get work. If you're that same age and you're a desk employee, it'd be a lot harder. AI is coming around. If you don't have a lot of skill, you're easily replaced. Working with your hands, you can't really replace that yet. There's no AI that can do welding quite yet. Maybe it'll be in the future, but not right now. But there is AI that can think. It can replace you if you have a job that's not necessarily highly skilled. So that's what I'm saying. Bottom line, long story short, you have to understand what skills are in demand, even if not a lot of money being made. If you can make a decent living and keep that skill and build upon it, you'll have success in this country, in my humble opinion. You're on the line, 4-7 homeless. Okay, I guess I was too late. Okay, let's go. 513, you don't lie, how much speaker to?
Hi, this is Shelly. I'd like to comment about the age, about the young people, because I make a conscious effort not to hate on them. That guy really had a point. I'm 45 years old. When I was 19, I was a waitress. I had an apartment, a dog, 2 cats. I went out every night. I went to concerts. I went on vacations. I mean, it's different, don't you think?
What do you mean?
The young people. I mean, everything's shutting down. Like, there's no, like, when we were younger, I'm 45. So from 14 to 22, I worked in restaurants. Those restaurants aren't around hardly anymore. All the jobs I had back then, there's immigrants doing them now. Fast food, you know, hostess. I think that guy is right. And we put these kids on the COVID spy school tablets, and then we're going to get mad that they're, I don't know, I just think he has a point. People don't have money to go out, to pay to have steak and go to carnivals and bars where the young people would work and make their tips and pay their apartment, right?
I see what you mean, but I think it depends on where you live, because where I live, there's a lot of kids that are always out doing things. You know, I've spoken to some of these young people, like high school kids. They got hobbies. They go places. They do things. So it depends on where you live. Like, are you in a big city area? Like,
well, close to a city. I get what you're saying, right? Where I live, you can go to high school here, go to college here, get an apartment, buy a house, and have a family. Now in New Jersey, they live in the mountains. They have to leave once they graduate high school. They have to go to the city for work. And most of them go back to the mountains, but you know they have to leave, right? So it does depend on where you live, but at the same time, we can't sit there and act like we were all perfect, kind, respectful young people. I mean, oh my God. Come on, we weren't racing cars, out in the boondocks and doing bad things. We were all doing bad stuff. I just think we need to give these young people a break.
Yeah, I think that we were not perfect, but at the same time, it's like, okay, a cell phone in class, cussing the teacher out. We had bad kids would do stuff like that. That wouldn't be your regular kids that would do stuff like that.
And then they got taken out and they went to the special school.
That's right. They go to alternative school. That'd be the thing. It wasn't common for kids to just completely disregard the teachers. Regular kids didn't do that.
Right. If there were boys growing up, if they acted out, you never saw them again. We had boys' schools around here.
Right.
But I don't understand what's the difference between a cell phone and a tablet. I mean, the schools are handing out tablets to the kids. What's the difference between a tablet and a cell phone?
That's a good point. That's a good question. I think the main thing would be, and I don't know how the tablets are, like what's on them, but I think the main thing is, okay, a tablet, you could just put certain things on it and they could just access that. But with their cell phone, they're not at all interested in education. They're just interested in being distracted. They're on TikTok, social media, texting, looking at videos. They're not engaged with education. But I understand your point, though.
Let me give you an example. I have a son, right? I did not want the school to give him an email. They went ahead and did it anyway. I mean, I get where people want to blame the parents, but it's the schools. They're the ones that are putting these kids on the computer to write their papers and the computer to do their math. And, like, the computers are going to always be there. I think we need to get it out of schools. Get it out of schools. The kids don't want to be on that. They're bored. They're on their tablets when they're at home. They don't want to be on their tablets at school. They want to be challenged. That's just my thought of it. I just think people need to be nice to the young people because the boomers really did ruin everything.
I understand. I see your point.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. All right. So what do y'all think? It's a lot of hot takes on the boomers and the young kids and whatnot. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments. Who am I speaking to? Your lines 407.
Hello, ABL. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to give my opinion on something that I just saw earlier on the show, and it's when Benny Johnson and Byron were talking. I saw the guy with the Puerto Rican flag, and he's wearing in his shirt the independence flag for the independence party back in the island. And I was saying to myself, what the heck is he doing over here in Florida? I have no idea what he's doing over here, since they want a person like that wearing the flag for the independence for the island. What does he's doing over here? That actually let my head scratcher right now, because I don't understand, because for them they don't want to be part of the United States. So there's no reason for him or for any of them that want to be independent to be here, at least here in the island. I mean, in the United States. I'm sorry. And what he says, it has what he said. He had no sense of what he was saying to Byron. And the other thing that I wanted to comment is I think was one of the second caller with what he was saying with the guy from the Philippines that was running around. His case won't be touched in the court for the next 2 or 3 years. And that's just to see his case. Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. Like I was saying, that guy in the Philippines, his case will be seen in the next 2 to 3 years just to see his case. And later, it's going to be like another year and a half, maybe 2, to start the process of court hearings. So he's going to be sharing a cell with at least with another 15, 20 other prisoners in a small cell, just eating rice. Morning, lunch, and dinner for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And that's not fun in a cell being shared with one bucket. One bucket for the whole cell. And there's no AC over there. There's no AC, so he's going to be enjoying the 100-degree temperature inside the cell over there in the Philippines for a good while. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, ABL. Thank you for all the information that you give us very much. I appreciate it. And have a good rest of the weekend, okay? Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. So, yeah, you're going to be over there just kind of wasting away in the penitentiary before they even see you. It's like, people got to learn, man. You can't just do whatever you want to do. You have to do things right. You can't just do anything. That ain't how it's going to go. You got to do things properly now. Okay. Now, one bucket of, you got to use that bucket to do your business. Number 1 and 2 in that same bucket. And you got to share it. So one of your cellmates, whatever you been eating, hey man, go ahead and pass that bucket. Let me get that. It's rough, man. Like, people just take the United States for granted. They're acting like whatever we have over here is just regular and normal, and everybody has that. And it's not regular and normal. Everybody does not have that. Everyone does not have the freedom we have to just do whatever they want to do. It's not really a thing. All right, let's go. 504, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
All righty, what's happening?
All right, shout out to you and the callers. Very interesting calls tonight, and I really appreciate your coverage. So today what I was doing was I was watching the Liberal Madness meltdown where Nick Shirley went over to right in the middle where the protesters were at the Capitol and interviewing different people. And some people talked to him about their perspective, and other people were very mean. And you had these different these security guards, these Timu security guards that kept telling people not to talk to him. And it's, they're acting like, in my opinion, a bunch of fascists, but they're there to try to protest what they thought was fascism, but they're doing censorship, in my opinion.
Oh, of course, all the time.
Yeah, and it was really cliche, like some, meme or something. You have these people that, act like these characters from that, like Wojak cartoon, and then you'll have the clowns, then you have some regular people, then they're not regular, but they're like not dressed like that, and then you had these people being rude to them. So yeah, that was something I was seeing today, and it had to do with what you addressed today with the person that was sent back to El Salvador. And you see, he is from that country, and he wasn't originally from here. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's so the people in that country locked him up. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, because I think what they're trying to say here is that we had him locked up there, but I think like their country locked him up. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Because basically what the media has been pushing over and over again is that this person has been like, we are like sending him there to be incarcerated, sort of like they're trying to compare it to what Hitler did, but it's his people doing it to them. And also, he does have the gang signs on his hand. Now, what the protesters were saying was that maybe he had the tattoos to disguise himself in this country because he didn't want to get attacked or whatever. And other people are saying they're just tattoos and he would need like a trial and stuff. But, there's been a lot of criminal activity going on with those gangs in this country. And it's kind of like if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, acts like a duck, it probably is a duck.
Absolutely. I mean, there's too much evidence. There's too much to say what he is for people to just ignore it.
Yeah, and why couldn't he have come in here the legal route if he wanted to have a life here and be the American dream, like many people from all over Europe and Ireland and Italy and different places came here. Like, these people did it the normal way. They're supposed to do it. And of course there's, crime and people that did crime, but the overall thing is people came here correctly and they did what they had to do. But this person is doing it incorrectly. Like, why do you have to break the law in the first place to get here? And maybe are they going to do other things too, in my opinion? So I think that it seems very suspicious.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's good for people to respect other countries, and other countries are not like our country. And I do love America and our freedoms, but I do think it should be respected, and we should not tolerate the nuisances and people disrespecting our country and violence. So yeah, if somebody's going over to another country and disrespecting it, I think that's extremely hurtful and embarrassing to our country to have people over there disrespecting people like that.
Right. And, again, it goes to any country. It doesn't matter where it is, who they are. You have to behave when you're visiting a country.
Right. And I remember you were showing the senator that went over to El Salvador to talk to the guy, and he looks like he's enjoying his date with him.
Yeah, he really was. He was like gazing in his eyes, putting his hands on his chin. It's like, all right, now what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's like they're about to go steady, and I don't know exactly what his point was. I guess he was trying to go there to bring him back, but do you also think possibly he did it for like a political stunt or for some kind of publicity, for propaganda maybe?
It was 100% political. That's all that it was, because there's no other reason to do something like that.
Right. And also something else I was looking at, I'll just mention for like a moment, is that with the track situation that happened, there's this person that was trying to use the story for propaganda purposes or for dividing races, and the father of the victim was extremely angry about this, and he was having a debate with him on the phone that he shouldn't use his son for the racial division because there's enough division in this country. And I do like to see that where these other people are trying to use it for a political stunt. Then he like broke into the area where the thing happened and trying to show where the blood spot was. And I think it's good that the father would stand up for it not to have cause racial division, because that's like what I was saying the whole time, because that's what people were going to try to do with it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I saw that same clip, and there was a so-called protest that guy organized, and nobody showed up because people realized that it's just people just trying to make money and promote themselves, because that guy you talking about, he's running for Congress. So it's like, okay, you want to use this to promote yourself, to get your name out there, to get some money. It's really pretty gross.
I agree. And that's the same stuff like Hitler did over in Germany, and also the Soviets. They used this type of propaganda to cause racial division. There's this, I don't know who he is. He was a black guy, very tall, and he had a cowboy hat on. And he was saying that if he would go run Republican, he would beat him, and he was causing racial division. And I like that guy. He was pretty cool, because these people are a bunch of snakes, what they're doing. And I think I saw that Sheridan was saying that the father went to there is a hearing or a meeting or some sort, and the father was asked to leave, and he left, and there was no other violent confrontations.
Right on. Yep.
It was a press conference.
Yeah, I saw that press conference. Yeah, it was all good. Nothing really, nothing transpired that was wrong or bad.
Right. So yeah, that is, as I said, it's good to see that of being, I like seeing those reactions to how the father was handling it. And so basically, I think that the liberals are extremely, I feel, racist and cringe. And I'm glad that Malcolm X called them out for that, because they're trying to put black people down and build them like they're these inferior to white people. And also mentioning Jesus. Jesus was from Israel. He would not even have any kind of tattoos on him from a gang in the first place.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And also, where I am, the weather is quite hot. Is it warmer where you are?
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot warmer. It's not super hot, but it's like probably in like 80, 85 today. So it was pretty warm today.
Same thing with my area, just the humidity is very high.
Right.
All right. Okay, ABL, have a very good Easter to you in chat, and thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All righty. Shout out to my main man, Alien Spaceship, for the call, but that will be a wrap for me. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you couldn't get on tonight, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. But I'll be back live, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. But I'm here pretty much every day putting out pre-recorded content. So y'all come check me out all the time. Follow me here, follow me there, follow me everywhere. Go to the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Follow me there. Follow me everywhere. And that's how we're going to do that. But you guys are the best. Shout out to y'all for watching. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. This is an audio streaming podcast you're listening to. Also, it'll be on your favorite audio streaming platforms. That'll be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. But that'll be a wrap for me. I got some super chats on deck. I'll read those right quick. Then wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. Thank you to TN. Hold on, my screen just blanked out. Let me just get that back. Let me get the screen back. Thank you to, where was I? TNSN5, who says, great show as always. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, caller is correct. We taxpayers have the right to dictate what EBT cards are spent on. Right on. Absolutely. 100% correct. Well, that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for being here. Definitely appreciate y'all. Again, happy Easter. Enjoy your weekend. Don't get in no trouble. Do an Easter egg hunt. Get you some Easter baskets. Do all that good stuff. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.